Today we'll be learning more about the most dangerous SCPs to ever exist. Even the SCP Foundation are scared of some of these. Let's find out which SCP is the deadliest of them all. Comment down below some predictions. Let's check this out.
Many people are dead.
Oh my god.
The biker bar is stuffed with bullet-riddled corpses.
Oh my god.
Of Hell's Angels. In the city aquarium, several workers and a night guard float dead.
Oh my god!
Being picked at by triggerfish and sharks.
This is a horrible way to start an SCP video.
Several men stand frozen, their faces locked in forever grimaces of anguish. Just outside town, the bodies of 2 police officers lay scorched beyond recognition. And even further out, the body of an old farmer hangs from the twisted wire of a fence.
I thought going into this was going to be a very friendly, maybe non-Keter class SCP, but it seems like this might be one of the deadliest SCPs I've ever seen.
What could possibly be behind this town-wide carnage? How could one being be the cause of so much death?
Is it really just like a little stuffed animal?
We need only rewind a few hours.
That's it?
6 p.m. Nobody has any idea of the horrors the night has in store for them. But if they knew about one another, they might have some idea of the clues, the little signs that point to something being just a bit off.
I'm so confused.
Over in the biker bar, the big, tough, leather-clad men, their hair tied back with bandanas and their beards twisted into Viking locks, laugh and shoot pool together. They've completed some good scores lately. Nobody messes with them. They own these streets. It's their strength, their intimidation, and most important of all, the cache of guns in the back of the bar.
Okay, so I'm very curious to see where the Builder-Bear comes into play here, because I've seen the Builder-Bear before, but I've never actually learned about where it came from, and I thought it was like this little stuffed animal bear, kind of like the Build-A-Bear that you make. When I was younger, you would just go in, you would pick out your bear or your stuffed animal, and then you would put a little heart inside. Sometimes you could put in a little voice box and make it say stuff. It's not really that deadly. At least it doesn't seem like it would be. So I'm curious, where does that come into play here?
One biker among them hears something strange, though. Something rustling in the back room.
It's a bear.
Someone infiltrated the armory. He pulls out his side piece, a revolver with a pearlescent handle, and barges into the armory. But the room is empty.
Whoa.
Not just of people, but of weapons.
Somebody stole everything.
All the gun racks are laid bare. His heart drops into his stomach. Seconds later, he's running back into the bar, demanding that the music be shut off. He sounds the alarm, and bikers start scrambling, as though the missing guns might be hiding under the tables. Little do they know that the truth is far stranger.
Good, that was it. That was the Builder-Bear. If we go back 5 seconds.
Little do they know.
That is it.
The truth is...
That thing is so creepy, dude. It looks like a Terminator, little tiny 1-foot bear, and it has the guns, it has ammo strapped to its chest, and it looks like it's ready to kill everybody. That is amazing.
Far stranger. Over at the city aquarium, they're wrapping up for the day, seeing off their remaining few customers. Janitors are starting their nightly rounds as night guards suit up and prep for patrol. One more marine biologist who works full-time studying the aquarium's many creatures isn't quite ready to go home for the night. She's made herself a new pot of coffee and is on her way to the octopus tank, containing several of the hyper-intelligent, mysterious mollusks. But when she arrives, she sees a startling sight. All the octopi are gone. Shocked and horrified, she calls over some janitors and a night guard. There are a few other possibilities. Either these slimy escape artists had figured out a way to get out and slither away, or someone had stolen them.
This is so weird. So I'm kind of I don't understand how it all connects. It makes sense that the Builder-Bear, which is basically just a little tiny midget Terminator, would steal all of the guns, right? So that it had more weapons and more ammunition to cause chaos. But why would it need to steal an octopus? It doesn't make any sense to me.
She's in a full panic now. These octopi are vital to her research. But when the others arrive, there's no trace of the creatures. There is, however, a strange pair of tiny, wet footsteps heading towards the tank. Before any of them can react to that, they hear a wet slapping sound behind them. Over at a construction site, work is just ramping up. Plans are being drawn up for the night's work, and construction equipment is being vanned in. The foreman of the construction site is pleased with how everything is progressing, and if everyone does their job right, they'll have all their work completed on schedule. He lives in this state of blissful optimism until one of his workers runs over to him in a panic. Someone has stolen 4 bags of cement. the exact 4 bags of cement they need for setting the foundation. As the foreman calls the company manager to profusely apologize for the delays, the construction workers scramble around the site, looking anywhere they can for the 4 bags. It's not uncommon for equipment to get stolen from construction sites, but bags of cement? That's strange. Though not nearly as strange as the creature approaching the foreman. Step by careful step, its hard gray skin scratching against itself.
It's so tiny but deadly. And also, guys, I'm noticing a pattern here. It seems like Builder-Bear is a kleptomaniac, which means that it likes to steal random objects and things, and apparently creatures too. So far has stolen a bunch of weapons, it's stolen a bunch of octopi, and 4 bags of cement. Now, I'm guessing these are all separate occurrences, but I am kind of curious. What if Builder-Bear is building his own aquarium, and then he's using the weapons to guard the aquarium? You never know. You never know. That could be the case.
A pair of police officers in a squad car receive a call over the radio. There are reports of a break-in at a nuclear graveyard across town. A large stone dome covering up a mess of radioactive material from when the city used to have a nuclear power plant. Someone tripped the alarm on the perimeter gate, and someone needs to get there and apprehend the intruder before they do something they seriously regret. The officers arrive not so long after and see a hole cut into the fence. But the hole is weirdly low and small. Was the person who broke in a small child?
I can't wait to see the Builder-Bear.
Hurry. The 2 officers pull out their flashlights and head up to the gate, opening it and walking through. Just as they're starting to wonder whether they should have brought some kind of radiation guard, they feel a strange, warm sensation on their skin, like a tanning bed, like blistering sunlight.
That's not good.
In the middle of the night. They turn and try to see what's walking towards them. The air seems to distort and wobble, even in the dark. Then, there's a flash of bright, eye-searing light, and both the officers scream.
It's Builder-Bear!
On a farm nestled in the sticks outside the town, an old farmer is carrying out his twilight rounds. He's hammering in fence posts, making sure the sheep, cows, and chickens are fenced off. He's about to turn in for the night when he sees a goat, his goat, wandering out in the fields beyond his own. He doesn't know how this thing escaped, but in any case, he needs to get it back. As he walks to the edge of the farm, he finds out why. Someone has ripped away all the barbed wire from a section of the outer fence. The wire is completely gone.
That has to be so confusing. Just like you're a farmer out in the middle of the forest at night, and you're just like, oh, cool, I'm just gonna like turn it in for the night. And then out of nowhere, all of your barbed wire is missing. Like, who would do that? Who steals barbed wire? It would literally scratch you to death if you tried to steal that.
It doesn't make sense. His mind fills with questions, and one awful, monstrous answer is standing right behind him.
Oh, that's so creepy.
Then, all across town, the chaos begins. Back in the biker bar, there's a quiet tapping amidst the chaos of heavy leather boots tromping back and forth. The tap, tap, tap of metal against wooden floorboards. The bikers turn in unison to the back of the bar, where something small and squat is limping out of the shadows. When it steps into the light, the bikers can hardly believe what they're seeing.
I know that it's supposed to be like really creepy and menacing, but it's so funny to me that this like deadly SCP is literally like basically a little tiny stuffed teddy bear. That's so funny. And I'm also curious too, since we've been hearing all of these stories about how Builder-Bear has, you know, stolen the octopi, stolen the cement, I wonder if there's multiple Builder-Bears. Like, I've only ever known there to be one, but I wonder if this is an SCP that either can clone itself or there's just like a mass amount of Builder-Bears that kind of just roam around and they steal stuff and they kind of like use the stuff that they steal almost to like upgrade their bodies. Like, this guy obviously stole weapons and ammo and guns, so he turned into the Terminator. But I wonder if the other Builder-Bear, since it went into the uranium, like if it used that as a power-up, and maybe it can use the octopi to like give itself giant tentacle upgrades and you know, stuff like that.
It's a teddy bear, a living, walking teddy bear. Made out of guns. Its body is an amalgam of stocks and ammo belts. It walks on a pair of spindly rifle barrels for legs. Its eyes are scopes and laser sights. And perhaps most striking are its arms. The left arm is an Uzi submachine gun, and the right is an AA-12 fully automatic drum barrel shotgun.
That is so
the
cool.
Bikers recognize every gun as their own. But before their many minds can compute another thought, The gun bear raises its shotgun and Uzi arms and begins blasting.
No way!
Bullet after bullet tears
Wow!
through the bikers, dropping them one by
That's
one.
insane!
Some scramble for the door, but it doesn't save them.
Nope.
In a matter of moments, as gunshots ring throughout the bar, every single biker is dead.
By a tiny
Over
teddy
at the
bear.
aquarium, things aren't going much better. The marine biologist and her coworkers turn to see a strange figure standing
Oh,
atop
I
the
think
tank.
I was right.
It's in the shape of a teddy bear, but the biologist can clearly see that it's about 5 octopi fused together in some nightmarish and unnatural conglomeration.
Okay, I did not know this about Builder-Bear. I only have seen Builder-Bear, I mean, weirdly enough, from a Minecraft mod, and it usually either looked like a teddy bear or it looked like the Terminator version that we just saw a second ago, where it had a bunch of weapons and guns and grenades strapped to it. I didn't realize that Builder-Bear was kind of like Upgrade from Ben 10, where it can pretty much like take over other creatures and machinery and basically turn its body into whatever it is that it steals. Like, that is so cool.
The tentacles stretch out and grab the aquarium staff, lifting them
Cool,
with
but
impossible
deadly.
strength and force them down into the tank. They struggle and thrash against the slimy tentacles holding them in place underwater, but it's no use.
I wonder why Builder-Bear is
The
so
octopi bear
deadly.
is in total control.
Like, why does it want to kill everybody?
Bubbles rise as the unfortunate aquarium staff struggle, but those bubbles eventually stop.
R.I.P.
Everyone in the tank floats, dead. The work of the octopi bear isn't over yet, though. It drags the waterlogged corpses of the marine biologist, the cleaners, and the night guard across the aquarium floor,
Why?
leaving a wet trail. Eventually, it throws the bodies into the main aquarium tank and watches with a slimy, blank expression as the fish begin to feed.
Oh, why?
Back at the
That's
construction
so
site,
weird.
the workers are frozen, but not in fear. The entity that stepped out of the shadows of the construction site is a teddy bear made of solid cement.
It looks so cute.
Constructed out of the 4 stolen bags. The second the foreman saw it, he called in the other workers to see, dooming them to share his fate. As some of them reach into their jackets to grab phones, eager to take photos, just to see if this truly is happening, the cement teddy bear screams.
What?
It's an awful sound, the screech of metal on metal, like a broken cement mixer spinning off kilter.
Oh my God.
Threatening to explode.
What?
But it doesn't explode. It just keeps screeching. And as it screeches, the workers and the
Whoa.
foreman are frozen in place. As much as they try with all their might, it's like their bodies are turning into concrete.
Huh?
No, it isn't like that at all. That's exactly what's happening. Their skin is
What?
taking on a slate gray hue, becoming rigid and brittle.
Are you serious?
Little by little, their bodies freeze and harden. Their eyes go after all the rest as they watch themselves becoming living statues, trapped forever.
I'm getting
in the shell
goosebumps.
of
That
their
is
own
the
bodies.
scariest one yet.
The cement teddy bear walks among them, and it begins to dance. Over at the nuclear graveyard, another 2
This might be my new favorite SCP.
corpses are about to be interred. That flash of light is actually a localized blast of radiation that would make Chernobyl look positively quaint, frying the officers on a cellular level in less time than it would take for a camera to take a photograph. They lay on the ground,
Wow.
skin burnt, vomiting profusely.
Oh.
They twitch and squirm, not quite dead, but trapped in a void of unimaginable pain, every thought burned out of their head. Their killer walks towards them on tiny, flat feet. As you may have predicted, it's a teddy bear, a living, walking teddy bear, cobbled together out of radioactive material. What it's done to the 2 police officers is horrifying, but if it gets into the city proper, the death toll will quickly climb into the thousands, if not the hundreds of thousands. But the violence and terror of the night is not quite over yet.
Okay, guys, so obviously this Builder-Bear, even though it's cute, it's cuddly, this might be one of the deadliest SCPs that I've ever watched a video on, and I'm kind of curious, like, what would you combine Builder-Bear with if you had the opportunity? I mean, it seems like the deadliest one that we saw so far was Builder-Bear combined with nuclear radioactive material, because then it's basically just like a walking nuclear bomb. But I am kind of curious, what would you try to combine the Builder-Bear with to make it the most powerful thing you've ever seen? Comment down below.
We return to the farm, where a farmer can only just make out a tiny figure stomping across the grass towards him. He hears it before he sees it and whips around, the strange jangling of metal against metal. He immediately regrets not bringing his gun, but it's too late for regrets now. He can see it now, the freakish little teddy bear made out of twisted barbed wire. Tendrils of the wire strip away from the teddy bear's body and launch towards him like angry vipers.
That's so
They
scary.
wrap around his body and limbs around his neck and tie him to a fence post.
Ouch.
He tries to struggle, but every movement hurts as
Oh,
more
I mean,
barbed
yeah.
wire cocoons him. Out on the field, the goat looks on with complete indifference. What you just witnessed is a series of horrifying impossibilities.
Yes.
Unless, of course, you're dealing with SCP-1048.
It looks so
a
cute.
singularly strange anomaly known as the Builder Bear. But please don't let the apparent whimsy of that name fool you. What we're dealing with here is an extremely dangerous Keter-class anomaly.
Oh, yeah.
But before we get there, we need to explore some background information on the entity before it revealed its darker side. SCP-1048 is a relatively small and unassuming teddy bear, standing at only 33 centimeters tall. Researchers have studied the materials and composition behind the Builder Bear and found that nothing about it is inherently anomalous. But despite this, the bear appears to be fully sapient and capable of moving of its own accord. While it is incapable of speech, it can communicate through some small gestures, all of which are extremely sweet and affectionate.
That's so weird. Like, it looks like it's friendly and it looks like it doesn't want to kill anything or anybody, but then what we just saw completely is the opposite of that. Like, this thing is extremely deadly and it could explode entire cities if it wanted to.
Yes, you heard that correctly. One of the most surprising things about SCP-1048, if you're only familiar with it by reputation, is the fact that most people who directly encounter it find it endearing and even adorable.
Yeah, it's
It shows
cute.
affection to human subjects by hugging their lower leg, dancing, jumping in place,
So-
and even drawing childlike crayon pictures for Foundation janitorial
Yeah,
staff.
what turns it
Before
into
the
this, like,
darker
evil
incidents
creature?
began, almost everyone reported positive feelings towards SCP-1048, even D-Class personnel who had tested positive for sociopathic tendencies. Despite its seemingly charming exterior, the inner workings of the Builder Bear's mind still remain a mystery. Attempts to communicate with the anomaly directly have failed, because although it is capable of making simple gestures indicating yes and no answers, it will often simply ignore certain questions. Specifically, it will completely stonewall any questions about its origins, which is partly
Interesting.
why the Foundation knows so little except for what it can directly observe. Whether the Builder Bear declines to answer because it doesn't know or because it doesn't want to share is an open question.
I'm also, kind of curious, how is it able to communicate? It said that, it can give some small gestures, like it can raise its hand, so maybe they just ask it yes or no questions. But I mean, even then, I don't think that it would want to explain its origin, because obviously the SCP Foundation, they want to figure out where it came from and possibly, how to contain it and maybe even destroy it if need be, because this thing clearly started out as being like cute and cuddly and friendly, but then it turned into something that they couldn't even control.
And while the Builder Bear is capable of drawing pictures, these are purely for the aesthetic value of the pictures themselves, not a means of communication. It's yet another mystery for the enigmatic bear. 7 months after first being contained in Site-24, Foundation personnel were able to first observe the Builder Bear's secondary anomalous effect, the one that gave it its namesake. Its ability to create crude living replicas of itself from various materials. This would be fine and dandy.
Okay,
not
so
for the fact
replicas. So that means that every Builder Bear that we saw in today's video was a replica of the original bear that, either was the Terminator or it was an octopi or whatever it wants to make. It seems like if it gets that material, it can basically just recreate itself using that material.
that these replicas are invariably
Ew.
extremely hostile
Ew.
and dangerous. Dr. Carver, the head researcher on the SCP-1048 case, posited that, in hindsight, the reason that the Builder Bear behaved so affectionately to staff around Site-24 was to lull its victims into a false sense of security, making it easier to collect materials for its secondary anomalous pursuits. Dr. Carver outlined case studies of the 3 most dangerous SCP-1048 creations that have manifested in Site-24 since the Builder Bear started its grim construction project. These creations have been labeled SCP-1048-A, SCP-1048-B, and SCP-1048-C.
So these are all of the replicas.
I'd like to personally warn you that the accounts of these 3 devious bears are disturbing beyond belief, even by the standards of anomalies studied by the SCP Foundation. During the first incident, SCP-1048 was spotted working with SCP-1048-A
What is
down
that?
the hallway in Site-24. 1048-A is similar to its creator in size and shape, except that it's made entirely from human ears.
What?
Dr. Carver was immediately alerted to the creature's presence.
No!
He dispatched a security team to apprehend
Burn
both
that
anomalies.
thing with fire.
However,
that is
what
gross.
seemed like what would be a simple mission instead became a nightmarish case of mass death. As soon as the security team surrounded the two bears, 1048A let out an impossibly loud, ear-piercing shriek that induced physical pain in everyone within a 10-meter range.
Wow.
But we're not just talking about hearing loss here. Everyone within hearing range began collapsing, growing ears all over their body, covering every inch of their skin. The two bears managed to escape during the chaos, and Dr. Carver arrived just too late to make any difference. Though luckily for him, he was at least able to avoid becoming an ear-abomination. This incident resulted in personnel deaths in the double digits. The cause of death, mainly suffocation from all the ears that had grown in the throats and lungs of all those affected. 1048A has still not been contained.
Oh, it's still out there?
While 1048A was hardly a walk in the park, 1048B was, in this humble scientist's opinion, considerably more revolting.
Are you serious?
I will have to tread carefully here, as the creation of 1048B is an extremely traumatic incident for an active duty member of Foundation personnel who still works at Site-24 to this day. In order to remain within the bounds of good taste, we'll say that 1048B looks like a frightening cross between a plush teddy bear and a human infant.
Are you serious?
Before the creation of 1048B,
no.
The anonymous researcher I mentioned earlier was heavily pregnant.
Oh my goodness.
Afterwards, she was not.
What?
The less said about that, the better.
What?
Moving on. The third of the documented SCP-1048 creations is perhaps even more frightening and dangerous than the other two.
Are you kidding me?
1048C was first spotted by Dr. Carver himself, lurking in his office. 1048C is another living teddy bear, made entirely from rusted scrap metal and jagged blades.
That's horrible.
The second that Dr. Carver spotted the metal monster, it got away, fatally slicing and dicing its way through a number of Site-24 guards during its escape.
You can't contain that. It's like a bunch of just scrap metal that could cut you and give you all types of diseases running around. Like, even if you touch it, you're going to get cut up.
Like the other two, it has not been sighted since the incident and is presumed to be still active somewhere in Site-24.
Where are they
potentially
going?
Ready to pop out at any moment. It brings a whole new meaning to the term bad news bears. Those well-versed in the anomalous files of the SCP Foundation may be feeling a strange flicker of memory right now. That's because SCP-1048 isn't the only anomalous teddy bear out there. And its counterpart, SCP-2295,
there's more.
a bear with a heart of patchwork, seems to be its perfect opposite in terms of temperament.
Interesting.
It goes without saying that SCP-1048 and its terrifying copies are a menace to everyone it encounters.
That's what it seems like.
But the bear with a heart of patchwork endeavors to save injured human beings whenever it can.
Oh, wow.
If this benevolent bear discovers a person with a severe injury or a disease causing organ failure, it will immediately leap into action. Like a cuddly trauma surgeon, SCP-2295 will take a needle and thread and begin making a fully functional plush organ out of its own material.
That's kind of cool. I mean, this one, I'm not gonna lie, it looks a little bit creepy with all of like the stitch work and the X's on the eyes and everything. But it is kind of funny because this one is the good one. And the other one, even though it looks cuddly and friendly, it's actually all fake. It's just trying to lure people in so that they think that it's friendly. And then boom, it'll spawn in literally every bad thing that you could think of in the form of a teddy bear to destroy everything.
It will then attempt to perform transplant surgery. And if the surgery is successful, this patchwork organ will function exactly as a regular one.
Okay, that's really cool.
The bear has saved many lives like this. In fact, SCP-2295 is so benevolent that in cases where the surgery fails, it's been witnessed doubled over and crying over the loss of life.
Poor little guy.
This is a courtesy that you cannot expect if your life is brought to an abrupt demise by one of SCP-1048's many copies.
Nope.
The containment procedures for SCP-1048 have undergone considerable evolution as the Foundation learned more about the entity's anomalous effects. Originally classified as safe before its secondary characteristics manifested, the anomaly is now classified as Keter.
As it should be.
Its original containment procedures are also shockingly lax given what we know now. 1048 was given free rein to wander around Site-24 and interact with personnel to
that should never happen. Like, if you are in the SCP Foundation, how could you ever let an SCP just roam freely, even if they are safe? Like, you shouldn't just let it run around free because of situations just like this, where it seems like it's safe, but it's smarter than you. So it literally tricked the SCP Foundation into thinking that it was one thing when it was actually the other.
Heart's content, a policy that we now know had terrible consequences. Technically speaking, SCP-1048 isn't contained. Many believe that it still lurks somewhere inside Site-24.
Oh, they don't know where it is.
Nobody can know this for sure.
What?
The orders for all active Foundation personnel is to apprehend SCP-1048 on site and to immediately destroy any of its deadly creations with extreme prejudice. The dangers posed by SCP-1048 are so great that even non-anomalous teddy bears are banned from Site-24 to prevent any potential confusion.
Wow.
Any object resembling a bear is to be reported to the site security team to avoid a potential mass casualty event. Dr. Carver appended a note to SCP-1048's containment procedures saying, "This is not a joke. We have no idea what SCP-1048's full capabilities are. Who knows how many of the damn things are out there by now?"
That is true.
It's a disquieting thought, to say the least. The Builder Bear is one of the most peculiar and dangerous self-perpetuating anomalies out there, with incredibly unpredictable abilities across its different iterations. If you want to stay safe, my recommendation is to be wary of any stuffed bears you may see lying around. If you're lucky, it's just another adorable plush creature. If you're unlucky, well, I hope you've made all the proper arrangements.
Find a comfy spot, ladies and gentlemen.
A convertible sports car rumbles down a desert road.
This is going to get weird.
Of dust high into the air behind it. The driver is sharply dressed and looks at himself in the rear-view mirror.
Oh yeah, he's looking good.
He knows he looks as
Yeah,
good
look
as
at that.
he
He's got a
feels.
little catfish,
Why shouldn't the
little
producer of
mustache going
Hollywood's
on.
ninth most successful film in the month of September be happy? The car comes to a sudden stop in front of a cluster of buildings, which
Why?
appear to be the only structures in this vast, otherwise empty desert. The producer hops out of the car and surveys the desolate location, the cracked concrete airstrip, the weather-beaten buildings, the endless, lonely desert stretching on for miles in every direction. "This place is great," the producer says out loud to no one in particular. The whole location would be perfect for his new movie, which is set entirely at a desert airstrip and tells the story of a lonely airplane mechanic who falls in love with a female bounty hunter chasing an escaped convict, a tale as old as time. But now, where's the guy who called him? He kept rambling about wanting to make a documentary about the desert or something, but that doesn't matter now. He doesn't realize what a great filming location he's sitting on. The producer calls out, "Hello?" But the only response is the desert breeze. He takes off his sunglasses and looks around. He sees that the doors to the hangar are cracked. Maybe the guy who owns this place is in there.
Okay, guys, right off the bat, this doesn't seem like a super scary situation. You have this movie producer who is, scouting a brand new location for his movie about a plane engineer and the lady that runs away with probably all of his life's earnings. But it seems very, very, not super scary. It looks like just, an abandoned warehouse in the middle of the desert. Kind of like an Area 51, There's nothing creepy happening over at Area 51, so it's not like anything creepy would be happening here. The only weird part is that he's meant to meet somebody, except the person isn't there. Which, that by itself isn't super scary yet, until something happens, which we all probably know because we read the title and we looked at the thumbnail. This is no ordinary building. This is a building that eats people alive.
The producer walks inside the hangar, but abruptly stops. His mouth goes agape. He can't believe what he's seeing.
What is it?
This place is even better than the guy on the phone had described it. The hangar is huge.
That was good.
Empty. He could probably build almost all the sets in the hangar, maybe even shoot the entire picture out here. He'd save a fortune on the budget by not having to pay the soundstage rates that the studios charge on the movie lots in LA. You beautiful genius, he thinks to himself. The movie could flop and still be a financial success. But where's the guy who called him? Doesn't he know who he is? He's a very important producer and doesn't have time to wait around for some desert nobody who runs a 2-bit airport.
Okay, as much as I don't want to see anybody die, I kind of want to see this guy die. This guy sounds like he loves himself. His ego is like over 9,000. And yeah, he literally, he's probably not a bad guy, but he doesn't seem like the best guy in the world either. So if an SCP, if it's going to eat somebody, I would be okay if it's this guy right here. But then again, I don't want to see anybody die. But if he died, I'd be okay with it.
All right, that's it. He's leaving. The producer turns to leave, but the doors of the hangar suddenly slide shut with a bang. Is this some kind of joke? He walks up to the hangar doors and starts banging on them, but they don't move. Hello? Hey, I'm trapped in here. What's the big deal?
He's gonna die.
The producer is getting
He looks so
worried.
scared.
Is this some kind of a setup? Is he about to get robbed? It wouldn't be the worst thing in the world if they took his car. He's 9 payments behind on it anyway.
Oh,
Jeez,
gosh.
it's hot in here. It was hot outside, but it's even worse in this hangar. And whoever said that the desert air was dry? An idiot, that's who. The humidity in here is stifling. The producer loosens his collar and tugs at it, trying to cool off. All right, I've had just about enough. If you don't...
Okay, guys, so I like to theorize about what I think this SCP is. Obviously, we kind of have a good idea because of the title. It's a man-eating building. We've seen other SCPs like this. Like, I think SCP-002, or maybe even 001, is like the living room, where if you go inside this, like, giant meatball-shaped meat thing that is basically like a living room, you will eventually be devoured and then turn into, like, a piece of living room furniture, like the sofa or the TV. This one seems a little bit more intense, like it is in the middle of nowhere, and obviously deserts are super dry, like they just said, but the inside of this is really humid, which leads me to believe that obviously this is the SCP, and it's like basically inside of its mouth right now, which is going to be really humid, it's going to be wet, and this guy is slowly probably going to pass out, and then I don't really know what happens after that. Maybe he just gets digested by this SCP, or maybe something even more cynical happens. Let's find out.
Don't let me out of here. There's going to be a big problem for you, fella. Just then, the producer hears a noise behind him, coming from the dark deeper in the hangar.
Is there like a giant
The producer
tongue?
doesn't react, though. He needs to play it cool. He bends down and pretends to tie his shoe.
Why?
He takes the Derringer pistol out of his ankle holster.
Wait, what?
He stands up and spins around, pointing the gun in front of him. But he can't see anyone in the darkness.
Okay, that's creepy.
This is your last chance. I'm not playing around here. The strange noise comes again, a low rumbling noise, and the producer stumbles forward.
The SCP probably burped or
It felt like
farted.
the floor rippled and pushed him forward. There, it happened again.
What?
And
What
again,
even is
the
it?
producer screams. What's going on? The rumbling, growling noise grows louder as the floor keeps rippling and pushing him forward, like a wave rolling through the solid ground. Is this an earthquake? The producer is knocked off his feet, and still the floor keeps pushing him forward, towards where that horrible growling noise is coming from.
Oh, dude,
He
it's
tries
pushing
to
him
stand,
towards the
but
throat.
can't. The floor is moving too
Oh
much.
my gosh!
He tries to crawl, but keeps getting moved closer and closer to the source of the now deafening roar.
That's
that seems to be
scary.
coming from... What is that? The producer screams and fires his gun at the thing in front of him.
What is it?
In the flashes of the gunfire, he can finally see it. The thing that he's being pushed into.
Oh!
A giant, gaping maw.
Oh!
Filled with a mass of gnashing, grinding teeth.
Oh my
How unlucky was this
gosh!
movie producer that he didn't realize until it was too late that the location for his new movie would be the last one that he'd ever scout. Because as you have probably already figured out,
Well, yeah.
this unknown building in the middle of the desert isn't at all what it appears to be.
Nope.
And in fact, is quite known to the SCP Foundation as SCP-1051.
Guys, if you're a fan of the channel or just SCPs in general, you know that a lot of SCPs that we've been checking out recently are normal everyday objects. Like we've checked out other SCPs. One of them was a bus that wasn't really a bus, or another one was headlights that weren't actually headlights, obviously. They were like killer monsters, but it seems like a lot of SCPs are literally just like everyday objects that people make into these super scary extraterrestrial creatures. So if there's any other SCPs like that that you want me to react to, leave them in the comment section down below.
SCP-1051 isn't actually a building at all, but in fact,
Well, yeah.
is a living organism. This creature's shell, which resembles an aircraft hangar, is quite large and measures roughly 700 meters by 500
What
meters
is it
by
made
60
out
meters.
of?
It is a completely immobile organism and acts as an ambush predator, luring its prey to it through a number of different forms
So
of
it's
sociological
like
and
a
psychological manipulation.
Giant Venus flytrap,
SCP-1051
but it's a building.
attempts to bring prey to it in a number of ways, but its primary method is by spreading certain ideas into popular culture. It will constantly try to connect to orbiting
What?
satellites
I
and
can
use
do
them
that?
to beam out television signals, images, and
Huh?
other forms of media. It has been measured as having around a 25% success rate in connecting with and getting its message carried by the satellites.
So, okay, that is insane that an SCP has that capability, because that means that whoever the producer was trying to meet never existed. It was a fake person created by this SCP, And obviously the movie producer thought that it was safe because he was talking with somebody or he was like emailing them or whatever it may be. He thought that he was meeting a person when in reality, it was the SCP that lured him there. That is insane.
And may have the ability to transmit regular radio broadcasts or connect to standard telephone lines as well.
It can talk?
The messages that SCP-1051 sends out tend to fall into the category that could be termed as conspiracy theories, most of which are about itself. Weird. It has uploaded information to various conspiracy websites that has included reports of spaceships being held and reverse engineered in its hangar.
Guys, I don't know if this is the case, but what if the SCP made this YouTube video? That would be really, really, really smart, but also weird because, I mean, like it's saying, like Dr. Bob just said, it can send out radio signals, it can upload images of itself. Like, this thing, I don't know what it's capable of, but imagine if it's behind this entire YouTube video. That is creepy. It's creepy to think.
So-called Men in Black using its location as a site for extraterrestrial contact. It has attempted to spread rumors that it is a site used as a testing location for any number of top-secret devices, including energy weapons, weather control devices, teleportation machines, and impossible propulsion systems.
So everybody's going to want to go there.
SCP-1051 has also attempted to spread through radio and television transmissions that it is a site used by a United States shadow government. It's made at least a handful of calls to Hollywood-based production companies in an attempt to get them to further spread its information, as well as contacting various tabloid newspapers.
What does it even sound like?
Of all, it has even sent orders to U.S. military intelligence operatives posing as a senior official and ordering them to reveal SCP-1051's location.
Okay, so obviously that is very creepy. But, you know, if it is doing all of these things, that means obviously that eventually the SCP Foundation is going to find it, which is probably how we're seeing this video. Yeah, this SCP, it's super smart, but it probably didn't realize that the SCP Foundation even existed, because if it did, it probably wouldn't want the SCP Foundation to find out about it, because it's just going to get contained. And they probably have some sort of like procedure at this point so that nobody ever risks accidentally going to this location. Like they probably have guards set up and stuff like that, because, yeah. They're not going to want somebody going into this giant building that is secretly a mouth for a massive creature that eats people.
SCP-1051 appears desperate to make its location known to curious outsiders, all in an attempt to get them to come find it, so it can lure them inside of itself and feed.
Creepy.
And the anatomical structure of SCP-1051 is perfectly suited to this task. Its bizarre biological structure consists of a large tongue, which looks very similar to a paved runway. The tongue leads directly into a set of large airplane hangar doors that could be called the organism's mouth.
Okay.
This door mouth opens up to what looks like a hangar, but is actually the gizzard-like organ of 1051, where it grinds its prey into a fine paste to prepare it for digestion.
Oh, no.
The next building is the creature's stomach, where it breaks down the liquefied prey into nutrients and separates the waste products that it can't digest.
I think I'm gonna be sick.
The nutrients are transported to the area where SCP-1051's brain is thought to reside.
Does it poop it out?
While the waste is ejected out of the structure. Finally, there are what appears to be a set of antennae on the side of the building. These information distribution organs extend below the ground as well, where many more antennae and wires are thought to exist.
How did this thing create itself?
To send out multiple television, radio, and other signals.
There's an egg?
SCP-1051 was discovered in 1947.
It can lay eggs?
The structure was reported to have crash-landed in the desert of the American Southwest, near the town of Roswell, New Mexico. The United States Air Force took this strange egg into its possession and moved it to its current location in Nevada for
it's an alien
and research. The Air Force scientists who were assigned to the object first thought that they were dealing with a meteorite, the one that was composed of some yet unknown material. They soon discovered that the object was hollow and was filled with some kind of liquid. Strangest of all, though, was when they detected something inside that liquid core, and it was moving.
So at that point, you know, I'm sure they probably realized that it's an alien, right? It's a living alien egg, not just a meteor. And they should have maybe not destroyed it, but yeah, do a lot of research and, you know, most importantly, make sure that it's contained, which it kind of seems like they failed in doing that, considering this thing, built an entire structure for itself and then is actively eating people.
The object for years, until one day, something happened that would end their research for good. The egg hatched. One night, as Air Force Sergeant Burnson and two scientists, Dr. James and Dr. Gold, were going about their regular work analyzing the object, they heard a strange sound. When they looked at the object, they saw that a crack had begun to form on the outer shell. This cracking continued for about 5 minutes until something finally broke through the shell.
What is going to come out of that?
Began to emerge from its shell, and the men all turned to run.
Okay, I mean, I don't want to say that these guys are like Weenie Hut Jr. idiots, but these guys are Weenie Hut Jr. idiots. What were they thinking? They literally know that there's something inside. It is an egg. Why did they not prepare for this? They should have had some sort of plan in place. If this thing were to hatch, I don't know, maybe like some sort of evacuation thing, maybe like a gas chamber that would put this thing to sleep. I don't know, but it seems like they had zero plan for when this thing hatched.
But something reached out with a long tentacle-like arm and grabbed Dr. James. It pulled the scientist in and seemed to absorb him right into its body.
Oh!
Sergeant Burnson and Dr. Gold managed to escape the airplane hangar and send out a distress signal. And it was this cry for help that described an attack by an alien creature that would put the object firmly on the SCP Foundation's radar. As Sergeant Burnson was sending out the distress signal, Dr. Gold tapped him on the shoulder and pointed towards the hangar where the egg-like object had been stored. The two men watched as the hangar bulged and expanded, like something was pressing against the walls from inside. The hangar suddenly collapsed, and they watched as the creature looked to writhe around in the debris. But then a new shell began to form around the alien. It grew larger, expanding and shifting until suddenly it took on nearly the exact form as the hangar that once stood there.
Wow.
SCP Foundation agents arrived at the site not long after and took control of the area. They discovered almost immediately that the building-shaped creature was anything but dormant. This extraterrestrial that had been born from an egg and then taken the form of an airplane hangar was ejecting its own eggs.
Oh, there's
the
more?
building would occasionally blast eggs up and into the sky.
How?
Several of these eggs were stopped and reclaimed by the Foundation, but others managed to slip past and escape the Earth's atmosphere.
Dude, it literally shot it so far, it farted it out at light speed, and the eggs are now all the way in outer space. That's insane.
Making them impossible to recover. The Foundation also soon detected that radio signals were being emitted by the hangar, and set up a small radio nearby which would allow them to both receive and send signals back to the creature that was now designated as SCP-1051. Dr. Richardson, the Foundation researcher on site who was leading the investigation into 1051, found the frequency that it was transmitting on and attempted to speak to the creature. After asking if 1051 could hear it, the creature actually responded.
Really?
And it seemed to have a very simple request. Give.
Give?
When Dr. Richardson asked it to elaborate,
What,
asking,
cookies?
Give what? 1051 responded,
People
"Want feed.
need food.
When the doctor told 1051 that it wouldn't be getting any food, the anomaly immediately sent out a new transmission, stating, Area 51 is currently being controlled by the SCP Foundation, a shadow government organization that has designated it SCP-1051.
Okay, that is super smart. So not only is this SCP taking over entire buildings, sending out signals, once it realized that the SCP Foundation wouldn't help feed it, it decided to like literally double cross the SCP Foundation and basically say that it's a secret government, there's conspiracies, the government is out to get you. And honestly, that's not a bad play, because then people are going to be like, wow, the government's really out to get me. And then they're going to go try to investigate it for themselves. And obviously they're going to get eaten alive and they're going to fall right into this SCP's trap.
Here are a few names of the operatives. Dr. Richardson cut SCP-1051 off and ordered a D-Class personnel to be sent inside the creature, hopefully appeasing it and stopping it from sending any more broadcasts out about the highly
actually
secretive
sacrificed somebody.
When asked why it was sending these signals, SCP-1051 responded that it was trying to make humans curious.
What?
It appeared that its hunting strategy was to flood the world with conspiracy theories.
And it worked?
Conspiracy theories about itself. This would then cause interested humans to come explore
Exactly.
the location. And once they entered the hangar, their curiosity would reward them with an encounter with the alien that they had been seeking. SCP-1051 also explained that the eggs that it was ejecting were its babies, and it seemed quite upset that the Foundation had intercepted some of them as they were on their orbital escape trajectory. But where had SCP-1051 come up with these conspiracy theories? Had it been studying our culture and the boom of science fiction in the 1940s to make up stories it thought would lead people to it? Foundation researcher Dr. Richardson had a hunch that there was something else going on. He next spoke to Dr. Gold, the other Air Force scientist who had been studying the egg-shaped meteorite. He asked him to describe SCP-1051's first victim, Dr. James. Dr. Gold told him that Dr.
Okay, so, I mean, I'm sure you guys are probably thinking the same thing, but this SCP might be able to absorb the knowledge of whichever victim that it eats. So it probably, it ate one of the doctors originally and probably was able to access its brain. And as a, super intelligent doctor, this guy knew a lot about conspiracies and sci-fi and all of these things that the SCP could then use in order to come up with these conspiracy theories.
Dr. James was obsessed with his job, and that spread into his personal life. He was a real sci-fi nut.
Yeah, there it
Dr.
is.
James apparently loved B-movies, especially ones about aliens and UFOs. He was convinced that the government had both in their possession already, and his research on the strange, egg-shaped meteorite only added to his confidence in that fact. Had SCP-1051 somehow absorbed this knowledge from its first meal here on Earth, and was now using it as a way to lure in new, inquisitive prey? Dr. Richardson thought it may go even deeper than that. When he played a recording of the first conversation he'd had with SCP-1051 for Dr. Gold, the one where 1051 told him it wanted him to bring food, Dr. Gold was left shocked.
Oh,
the
it's
voice he was
his
hearing
voice?
belonged to
Oh
Dr.
my
James.
gosh!
SCP-1051 remains in the Nevadan
What?
desert, and its area is patrolled at all times by no less than 20 Foundation personnel in uniforms that resemble those worn by members of the United States Air Force.
Okay, cool.
They are authorized to
Dude's
shoot enemy
Naruto
troopers,
running
not with the
wild.
intention to kill. Instead, only as a means to scare them away.
I got my next
Should any
YouTube
intruders
video.
come within 1 kilometer of SCP-1051, they are to be detained and administered Class A amnestics.
Okay, so this SCP is Area 51. That's it. Okay, that's actually kind of cool.
Since SCP-1051's primary danger stems from its ability to spread false information, the SCP Foundation's main containment efforts have been focused on stopping its broadcasts. Agents are to respond to any civilian rumors or questions about SCP-1051 with denial and ridicule.
Well, that just makes
To make
people
it
more
clear that
curious.
These are nothing but stories, and that the person is stupid for believing them. Should they exhibit any knowledge beyond the normal myths
Knowledge.
and rumors, the application of Class A amnestics is also permitted.
Oh,
Any
okay.
satellites orbiting near 1051's location are to be monitored for interference to their transmissions, and if any antenna with an unknown purpose are discovered within a 10-kilometer area of the building, they are to be destroyed or surrounded by a Faraday cage.
This SCP is a pain in the butt.
SCP-1051 may not be able to move, but its ability to reproduce and the difficulty that the Foundation still faces in stopping its spread of disinformation has led to it being classified as Euclid, and research into its origins and biology are ongoing.
The man and woman's hike through a gently rolling portion of the Rocky Mountains has just taken a turn for the dangerous. There's something there in the bush, the man tells her before stepping in front of her in a defensive
Oh,
pose.
yeah. Defend
They
your
watch the bush
woman.
intently. There's a slight rustling
What is
of the
it?
leaves as if
Ew,
something
dude, it
is
looks like a
inside.
tree butthole.
The man picks up a stick from the ground and holds it in front of him, ready to strike whatever fearsome beast is lurking in the
Okay,
undergrowth.
let's be real. If that's like a grizzly bear, my guy is about to get ripped apart into like a billion different pieces, and she's looking at him like she knows it. If she's smart, she should probably start running immediately.
Brush. The rustling stops, but the man doesn't move from his protective stance.
He is sweating bullets
"Do you
right
think it's
now.
gone?" The woman asks.
I don't think
the man
so.
isn't sure. He leans in towards the bush, searching for signs of what might be hiding inside when
Oh!
the man screams
What
and
is
falls
it?
backwards as the creature emerges from the bush.
What?
The woman cries. It's a pika. She kneels down to get a closer look at the adorable little creature.
It was just
Pikas
a
are
little
native to this
rodent.
part of Colorado,
Oh my
and they resemble
gosh.
rabbits, but with small, rounded ears.
He looks
She
so
watches it
stupid
hop back
now.
off the trail before turning around to see
Wait.
her friend lying tangled in the branches of a tree.
Guys, check that out. Okay, that is no ordinary tree. That has to be SCP-867, which has the nickname the Blood Spruce. I have no idea what this thing does, but based on its name, it can't be anything good.
Tree.
She can't help but laugh as she offers a hand to help pull him out of his predicament. "Are you all right?" she asks between fits of laughter. Yes, he's fine. The only thing hurt was his pride. He notices a small red spot on his arm and rubs it, but it doesn't seem to hurt at all.
I think he got
His attention
infected.
is diverted by the woman, though, who is marveling at the tree he was just stuck in. Free of the branches, he can appreciate now that the tree really is incredible.
Whoa.
It looks like a huge blue spruce, but the name is a complete misnomer.
Wow.
Because this tree is a vibrant red color. "I've never seen anything like it," she says, and the man hasn't either. Neither knows what species it is, and strangely, there don't seem to be any others like it.
It's so much
Maybe
bigger
this is
than the
result
other
of an
trees.
odd genetic defect that turns blue spruces red.
Huh.
After admiring the tree for a moment, the pair decides that they've hiked far enough and that they should probably head back to the car. She jokes that he's likely exhausted from his run-in with a wild animal. He laughs, but clearly his ego has been
That's so
bruised.
funny. He's gonna die soon. He's definitely. See, guys, look. There's a
The
skull
man
and
stops
bones.
his car in
This
front of
guy's
the
going
woman's
to
house,
die.
and she thanks him for taking her on the hike. As she starts to get out, though, he stops her. He asks if she wants to go do something else, like dinner?
Wait, guys. Okay, so I like to make predictions during these SCP videos, and I have a prediction. I don't know. It's kind of weird, but we know that that was definitely the blood spruce SCP, and we know that he fell into the tree. He has a little bump on his arm, so he's definitely 100% infected. Now, I'm curious, because we saw like bones and we saw stuff like a skull around the other blood spruce, I'm wondering if maybe that's how this thing multiplies. Maybe it infects people or animals, and then it like basically starts spawning a tree out of the infected area. That's what I think right now, based on the information that we have, but make sure you guys comment down below what you think, and don't cheat. I know some of you guys might fast forward and then comment down below what actually happens. Don't do that. Just make some guesses down below right now in the comments. Do it.
The woman thanks him for his offer, but she has to be up early the next day for work. Just a quick drink then? An hour? 30 minutes? The woman tries her best to let her friend down easy, explaining that she likes him as a friend and as only that.
Ooh.
The man opens his mouth to respond, but
Rejected.
she stops him.
He doesn't have that
He valued
Ohio
their friendship,
skibbity riz.
and wouldn't try to take advantage of it by using it as a backdoor to dating her. The man again looks like his pride has been shattered.
Wow.
He apologizes and admits that she is right.
Not only did this
It's
guy
just
get
that he
scared
has
by
such
a
good time with her
squirrel,
that he
he
never
got
wants it to
infected
end.
by an
She gives
SCP,
him a sad
and he
smile as she
also
closes the
got
car door,
rejected by
and he
the love of
watches
his
her enter
life.
her house before he finally
This guy took
drives away.
3 major L's
It's
today.
2 weeks later when the man's phone rings.
Oh,
It's
2
his friend.
weeks later.
She explains that she's
Oh,
been thinking a lot
no.
about what he said in the car, and that she likes spending time with him too.
No!
Maybe there could be something more
I
to
mean,
their
that's great
relationship.
for him, but
The man can't believe
we
it.
both know
Is this
that
really
this
happening?
guy is not
The
going
woman
to
is
make
serious.
it.
She'd like to take him up on that dinner offer, if he's still interested. Her treat.
Oh,
She wants to know
gosh.
what he's doing right. Ah!
Oh, there it is, boys.
Is he okay? What was that smell?
No.
Yes, I'm fine. It was nothing, the man tells her. It's just that now's not a good time. The woman doesn't understand. She thought he'd want to see her. She explains that she's leaving town for a work trip the next day and will be gone for a couple of weeks. She was hoping
What?
she could see him before she left, but the man cries
Oh,
out
dude,
again.
he is
He tells
infected
her that
right
he hasn't
now.
been feeling well all day.
No.
But that he'll be all right. Okay, well,
He's not
get well
going to
soon.
be okay,
I'll
guys.
call you when I get back. They exchange goodbyes.
Oh, wait, look
and
at
the
his
man hangs up
skin.
the phone.
He's green?
The man
Oh!
looks terrible.
Oh my
His
gosh,
skin is
yeah.
pale, and his
Yes,
face
he
looks
does.
hollow and gaunt.
No.
He looks down at his arm and sees
Ew.
that the veins themselves appear to be moving,
What?
pulsing, and vibrating.
Ah, that's
He screams
gross.
again in agony and falls
That
to
is
the floor,
disgusting.
clutching his arm. After writhing on the floor, he manages to summon the strength to reach for the phone. His hand searches on the table above
Ew,
him.
it looks like he's
Eventually,
wearing a
able to knock it onto
glove,
the
but
floor.
it's actually just
He
his
grabs
own
the phone
hand.
and starts to dial 911 before he can press 1
do it,
again.
do it.
Another wave
Ah,
of intense
no.
searing pain consumes him. Several weeks later, the woman
Oh,
is
she
standing outside the
came
man's
to his house.
Mail and newspapers are piled up on his front porch, as if no one has been in or out in some time.
So I guess this guy must not have like any family or friends. He's kind of a loner because nobody has checked up on him in multiple weeks, other than this girl.
She knocks on the door, but there's no response. "Hello?" she calls out, but still nothing. She's
He
very
turned into a
worried.
tree,
She's
lady.
tried calling him several times, but he never answered or returned her messages. She tries the doorknob, and to her surprise, the front door swings open.
Okay, that's kind of
She steps
sus.
inside, and the room is dark. She's also immediately hit by a strong aroma of
Death. Oh,
She searches on the wall. And
maybe I
finds
was
the
right.
switch. She turns on the lights and can't believe what she sees standing in front of her.
I
There
was
in the middle of the
right.
Is a massive spruce tree.
What?
Its upper branches pressing against the
That
ceiling.
is insane.
She reaches out and touches the tree's vivid red branches. They feel sticky and wet. She pulls her hand away and looks down to see that it's covered in a red substance. That's when she notices something else.
The dead body.
Stuck in the
Oh
trunk
my god. Oh, okay.
of her friend.
So guys, I was right. I mean, this is a horrible time to pause, but I was right. So this thing infects the person, and then it turns their body into like fertilizer for a tree to spawn. Now guys, I'm pretty sure there's a type of mushroom that does this as well. It's very weird, but I remember watching a video after I played the Last of Us game, which is about like this mushroom virus that can like take over different organisms. And there actually is a mushroom out there called cordyceps that does something similar to this. But luckily it can only take over like small insects like ants, but it can actually like take over their brain and then it starts spawning in the mushroom from their body. It is super weird, but it's like a real life SCP.
Unfortunately, this pair would never have the opportunity to see their feelings take root and grow, because unbeknownst to
Dr.
them,
Bob just
this
cooked with that
beautiful
one.
tree is actually a very deadly anomaly, known to the SCP Foundation as SCP-867, but which is perhaps better known by its very appropriate nickname,
The blood spruce.
SCP-867 is, or at least appears to be, quite similar to the species of tree Pisceae pungens.
I've never
better
seen that
known
tree
as the
before.
blue spruce.
That is such a cool
Of
looking
course,
tree.
There are a number of dramatic differences between 867 and its non-anomalous counterpart.
I mean, yeah, we can see, first off, the blood spruce is like double the size, and secondly, it's a different color.
Visually, and most obvious, is the coloration. While blue spruces, as the name implies, are typically a blue-green color, SCP-867 is a deep, vibrant red. There's another major visual difference too, with the blood spruce lacking any sort of seed cones that you would normally expect to
Oh,
find.
interesting.
With no pine cones to protect and spread seeds, you'd be right to ask how SCP-867 goes about reproducing.
We already
The
know.
answer to that question is what makes this beautiful tree such a dangerous anomaly. The secret to how SCP-867 reproduces is found in its leaves. While they look like pine needles, SCP-867's leaves are, in fact, needles.
Oh,
Their structure is very
what?
similar to that of hypodermic needles, and each one contains a single long, thin seed, which sits above a small gas pocket at the base.
Are you
When a living
serious?
creature touches the leaves, the tree immediately
Oh!
reacts. It triggers the gas pocket in the base of the
Wow.
leaf to release, which injects the seed into the skin of whatever touched it. The process is quite similar to that found in auto-injectors, like
Guys, this is insane. So just like a lot of SCP videos that we've watched in the past, there's like, I don't know, just like some part of it feels like it could be real. Like obviously we know about porcupines and they have like really sharp, basically needles as their defense mechanism. And we also know that pine trees and like other trees in existence like thorns, they can pretty much like prick you and then cause you to bleed. Now, luckily, nothing that we know of actually exists today that like shoots a seed inside of you, which would be super weird. But I don't know. There's something about these SCPs where they're like almost real enough. It just feels like it could be real. Like if somebody like let's say Albert Einstein sat me down and he was like, yeah, there's a tree that can shoot you with the seed and then, you know, a tree will grow out of your body. I would believe it. I would be like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Darwin definitely studied that one, 400 years ago. That just sounds like evolution to me. But luckily, it's just an SCP, so we're safe for now, I think.
those used to quickly treat allergic reactions. The seed itself is extremely small and is coated in a liquid that has both anesthetic and coagulant properties.
So you can't feel
which makes
it.
the process virtually undetectable. Once implanted in the skin, these seeds can lay dormant for up to 2 weeks before they begin the germination process, and the true horror of SCP-867 is revealed. Once the seeds begin to sprout and grow, they will not seek to penetrate through the skin like a plant rising out of the soil. Instead, the strange plant will grow within its host's body, spreading throughout the circulatory system. This process is extremely painful for the host.
I bet.
The plant's tendrils wind through their
Oh
veins and
my
capillary
gosh.
system, stretching and pressing against them.
It literally takes over the person's entire organ system.
The size of the plant's tendrils becomes too much, and the veins will begin to rupture. This leads to severe bleeding, and soon after, the death of the host.
Okay.
The entire process is quite quick, with it only taking 24 hours from when the seeds first sprout to the host dying. But that single day will feel like an eternity to the afflicted individual, as they feel the plant rapidly growing inside of their body.
Okay, so it did only take one day.
Expired, this parasitoid tree is far from finished with them, or at least their body. Soon after death, a new instance of the blood spruce will burst from the body. The red tree is quite small at first, but it will continue to quickly grow, just as it did within its host's body, and can reach maturity in just 30 days.
What?
And unlike most other plants, SCP-867 is able to grow regardless of light or soil conditions.
How?
Because it does not produce food via photosynthesis. No, this plant is carnivorous. As it grows, the 867 will slowly consume its host's body until nothing remains except the blood red tree.
So how does it eat after it runs out of the person?
Were first identified in Colorado during the 1990s, following reports of numerous disappearances of hikers and park rangers. The SCP Foundation dispatched a team to the area to investigate, and they soon discovered numerous instances of the previously unidentified tree.
So that basically means that 3 people were out there, and then they all like basically died, and then the trees sprouted out of nowhere.
Several still young specimens were acquired, though unfortunately, this led to the deaths of several agents.
How?
We're not yet aware of just how dangerous the red spruces could be.
How did you not
Once their
know?
threat level was properly assessed, several specimens were flagged for containment and research purposes, while all of the other identified instances still in the wild
what you should do to this SCP. Burn it with a flamethrower.
SCP-867 were classified as Euclid and are now securely kept at a Foundation biocontainment site. Direct human contact with the plants is normally not allowed, and remote rovers are used for the majority of tests and upkeep.
That's a big brain play right there.
It is necessary for a human to enter 867's containment cell. They are to wear full hazmat suits with a Kevlar underlayer, and upon exiting the cell, must undergo a full herbicidal treatment and inspection. Should any possible puncture marks be discovered, they will be forced to quarantine for no less than 15 days. Ah, nature. It's so beautiful.
Wait a second, why would they quarantine for 15 days when they just said earlier in the video that it only takes 24 hours for this thing to kill the person? That was kind of weird.
Full and calming, yet seems determined to try and kill us in any number of ways. If you're out hiking or camping in the woods, try to remember this extremely famous adage which I may or may not have just made up. It goes, leaves of 3, let them be. Needles of red, well, you're probably already dead.
Let's go ahead and learn a little bit more about this SCP and how to contain it.
That's been left uninhabited for this long, rumors tend to spiral.
Like
of course,
what?
There are the more mundane explanations for why the 2-story, 4-bedroom home on the end of a nice street lays in semi-ruin. Black mold, asbestos, rising house prices. But those weren't the stories that most people told. Everyone in the neighborhood knew what really happened.
What happened there?
The family that lived there had been murdered.
Oh, it's Harry Potter.
The killer was never caught.
Oh.
The 3 young paranormal investigators,
it's
with
Avada Kedavra
readers in their hands and GoPro cameras mounted on their hard hats, know all about this. They approach the house in the dead of night, mumbling commentary for the recordings. If the old house really is as haunted as everyone says it is, then they could be in for something really good here. Their subscribers always loved brand new paranormal content. They use a crowbar.
Wait a second, guys. Why does this kind of remind me of like Sam and Colby or even BeckBros? Sometimes on our BeckBros channel, we'll investigate spooky, scary, haunted houses. And usually, you know, we don't run into anything that bad. But I have a feeling these guys are going to run into one of the most dangerous, most aggressive SCPs of all time.
To breach the front door and head inside. It's everything you can expect from a house that had been abandoned for 17 years. Dust, cobwebs,
it just says
and
boo on the wall.
Abound. Broken bottles scattered across the floor. Someone has scrawled, "Welcome to Hell," above the door in faded Sharpie. It all plays perfectly for the cameras. Paranormal content gold. All of them turn on their flashlights, generously provided to them by one of their sponsors, of course.
What the heck, dude? They got 14 million views?
They have no idea just how valuable
these guys are big
their
shots.
product really is. After all, there are some frightening things that hide in the dark. The leader of the trio begins ascending the stairs, narrating into his helmet cam, giving the more popular version of the house's legend. The perfect suburban family, torn apart, literally, by a killer hiding in their home.
Oh
The
my
family had all been
gosh.
brutally murdered by someone in their home, but the police never found any sign of unlawful entrance or exit.
So guys, I wonder if the family was killed by the SCP or if that created the SCP. Like, obviously the SCP, we know that it's called Eyes in the Dark, but we don't really know much about what it actually is. Like, is it a ghost? Is it a demon? Is it actually just like two eyeballs floating in the dark? And also, if it is, how does it actually like damage people? How does it murder people? I'm just really curious about how this SCP is such a dangerous Keter-class SCP that has to be contained at all costs.
There were no clues to the killer's presence whatsoever, in fact. It was as if they were a ghost, a vapor. It was almost as though whoever killed the family had always been in that house, and even after the murders were committed, they never left the place either.
So they probably
As he
got
tells the
killed
story,
by the
lead
SCP.
investigator starts to feel a little nervous. Even though he himself doesn't really believe in the supernatural, he just plays up reactions for the views, he still can't help but wonder, should I really be here? Am I making a terrible mistake? Is there a chance that whatever did this all those years ago could still be in the house, waiting for me? But he pushes those thoughts from his mind. This gig is too valuable for him to wimp out now. And really, what are the chances that something actually dangerous would be lurking in the house?
Guys, I feel like this is exactly how some of the biggest ghost hunting YouTube channels are. Like, I feel like there's a small part of me that believes that they don't actually believe in the supernatural, that they're just playing it up for the cameras, and that they're getting really good reactions, and they're getting views from it, so they gotta keep doing it. Kind of like this guy right here. Like, he doesn't really believe in it, but he's getting paid to do it, so you might as well. But then, what if something real actually happens? Will you believe it? Will you even think that it's real? Will you treat it as an actual danger? Or will you just be like, nah, this is great content. Let's go ahead and let's keep filming.
The other two investigators are still looking around downstairs, sticking together, their flashlight beams slicing through the darkness. Their boss always insists on going upstairs first. He demands the glory shot, after all.
Interesting. So that guy's in charge.
Searching the downstairs living room, dining room, and kitchen, where the best they can hope for is maybe a particularly haunted-looking dishwasher. It's why the younger of the two is so surprised when they suddenly feel something happening to their body that they've never experienced before.
Wait, what? Wait, do you guys see the little glowing
Their whole
particles?
body convulses with an involuntary shudder. They feel the temperature drop, and the world gets just that little bit darker.
Okay, guys, temperature dropping is a key indicator that there is a supernatural presence. At least that's what it said on the ghost hunting TV show that I watch.
The way they can describe the feeling is impending doom. Like any moment now, something terrible is going to happen. But almost as soon as the feeling begins, it's gone.
That's
Intensity
so
dropping,
weird.
The dread starting to dissipate, as though whoever or whatever caused this feeling literally passed right through
One of the
them.
ghosts went
fellow
through them.
investigator
And it's not
asks
even a
them if they're
ghost, it's an
okay.
SCP.
Of course, they nod and force a smile. They're fine.
Look, wait, guys, look in the background. Do you guys see those little glowing particles? I don't know if those are SCPs or not, but they were not there a little bit ago. And I mean, based on the name, Eyes in the Dark, this SCP could be right behind them, and they have no idea.
It's just a spooky place is all. Atmosphere like this would get to anyone. Meanwhile, the lead investigator is exactly where he wants to be, ascending a rickety stepladder up into the attic. The very same attic where, all those years ago, the police had found what was left of the family. And from everything
okay, so
he
they
read on
were
the subject,
in the attic.
Their remains weren't a pretty sight, even by true crime enthusiast standards. He enters the attic and shines his flashlight around, capturing all the dusty old boxes left to rot
Guys,
in the cold.
keep an eye
He's
out for
engrossed in the
little
macabre
shining
spectacle that had once
eyeballs.
been the worst and final moments of a group of strangers' very real lives. The attic is full of spider webs and shadows. They're so ubiquitous that as the lead investigator pauses to tell his camera the next chapter of the grisly tale, he doesn't even notice one of the shadows peeling off of the wall behind him.
What?
It wafts
The
silently
heck?
towards him, like a gust of midnight
Nah,
air.
bro. Nah. Get out of there. Go. Turn around.
To take on a vaguely human
Wait, I thought
shape.
these were supposed to be like eyes in the
Leaning
dark, not a
forward in the
shadow.
investigator's direction, arms extended like a classic movie monster.
Dude, look at that. Look at it.
Dark claws
What?
slide out of its
The
shadowy hand.
heck is happening?
Downstairs, the other two investigators hear the most
Oh, my
terrible
boy
scream.
dead. He is
For a
deader
moment,
than a
more
fish in a
fantastical
Walmart
thought
on a
crosses their
Tuesday.
minds. Could this be one of the tormented souls of the departed family, longing to be heard after years of silence?
I don't. Why would they think that? Why do they think that it's a real life ghost? Especially when they know that their friend is upstairs. Why would they think that a ghost is the one screaming? No, this is your friend being absolutely pulled apart by an SCP that's a shadow on the wall. I thought it was going to be eyes in the dark, but no, it is a shadow on the wall that is currently destroying your friend.
Then it occurs to them that they recognize the scream.
Well, yeah.
It belongs to their boss.
It's about time.
The two of them charge up the stairs, flashlights in hand, as the screaming starts to become more desperate and pained, like that of a wounded animal.
Okay, somebody should really call the cops.
Those terrible wails are echoing down from the open hatch leading into the attic. It's so dark up there, something must have broken his flashlight. That's when they notice something else. Red, dripping from the open hatch. For a moment, they
He's
hesitate,
dead.
wondering what could be going on up there. Could they really help, or would they just be running into the danger themselves?
Guys, comment down below. What would you do in this situation if you're two friends and you look into the attic and you just see red coming from the attic? Personally, I don't know if I'm going up there. I'll be honest. You know, I wanna say that I'm a hero in the moment, but if I'm being honest with myself, I don't know if I would go up there, because what am I going to do? Like, how can I help in that moment? But then some part of me wants to go see if, like, what if I could help? What if I could actually do my friend a service and save him? But I wouldn't know unless I went up there, and if I go up there, it might be too late for me. So honestly, if I had to be honest, I think that I'm booking it. I am getting out of this house and I am running for the hills. I'm going to call 911. Of course, I'm going to go knock on neighbors' houses. I'm going to get some help in there, but I do not think I am brave enough to go up into the attic. I'm curious what you guys would do. Comment down below.
But soon, their desire to save their boss's life overpowers their
Oh, they're going to do it. They're going to do
They
it.
grab the ladder and start climbing, feeling the dripping blood on the worn wooden rungs. When they finally get up into the attic, it feels like the scream is coming from everywhere, bouncing off the walls in a terrible, echoing cacophony of pain. They turn in all directions, hovering their flashlight beams around the room in wide, sweeping arcs, until both fall on the source of all this terror. And when they see it, they can't help but scream too.
Did he get turned into an
The lead
SCP?
investigator's body is floating about a foot off the ground.
No, he did not.
His screams now fading into pained gurgles. Something huge and dark is lifting him up with one
Oh,
hand.
no.
The long, dark claws
Oh
of its
my
other
gosh,
into his
it's
neck.
no longer a
The
shadow.
second the twin flashlight beams
It's like a
concentrate on the creature,
Demogorgon
it drops
upside
the
down
lead
creature.
investigator's bleeding body down onto the ground. His skin slate gray, his feeble twitching slowing to a halt as the last of his
Oh
life drains
no.
from him.
He
Two
dead.
glowing red pinpricks
Ew,
open up
dude,
in the face of the
what?
dark figure.
It's
Eyes like
Vecna.
terrible,
It's
burning
Vecna
coals
from
etching
Stranger
themselves
Things.
into their memory. Like smoke, it continues to glide backwards
And
further,
then
seeking
it's
refuge
gone?
in the dark, a safe haven amongst the other shadows.
Oh.
By this point,
So it
the two
doesn't
surviving
like
investigators
light.
know there's nothing they can do for their boss anymore. All that's left is to get out and survive. They have to save themselves. They turn, wasting no time running towards the exit. They don't notice it, but the second they turn the beams of their flashlights away, the shadow's terrible eyes disappear. And it starts
Interesting.
advancing towards them again. Its
So
claws
those were the
outstretched
eyes in the
and
dark.
grasping for them with awful fury.
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Shine the
shadow
flashlight.
creature grabs
Shine
at
the
their
flashlights.
heads as they make their final leap for the exit.
Oh, gotcha, hat.
However, all the monster can pull away.
Okay, so
are their
that's
helmets
Jake
and
Paul
helmet
as an
caps they
SCP.
scramble down the ladder and then down the stairs, running at speeds they didn't even think possible as the shadow slithers down behind them. It doesn't give up. It wants their lives.
Seriously, use the
Wants
flashlight.
their
What are we
warm
doing right
human
now?
blood on its claws.
What are we doing?
They
Use the
clear threshold
flashlight.
of the accursed house and keep running to their car.
Can it come
One looks
outside
over
of
their
the
shoulder
house?
And sees the shadow leave the house.
Seriously?
gaining on them, both claws
Dude,
outstretched and ready to rend their flesh.
Bro.
The two climb
No,
into
no,
their
no, no,
car
no, no, no.
and see the
Turn
shadow
on
coming
lights.
towards
Turn on
their
your
window.
headlights.
It's moving
Turn
so
on the car.
quickly,
Turn on the
only a
car.
few feet away now. It's
Put the
getting
keys in
closer,
the ignition and
closer,
turn that thing on.
closer. Ignition.
Please,
The car
yes,
starts
yes.
up,
Turn
the
on
driver
lights.
smashes
Turn on the
pedal
lights.
down.
What are we
They take
doing?
off, quickly accelerating up to illegal
They're
speeds
panicking right
as the
now.
shadow
They have no
continues
idea what to do.
chase, slowly getting smaller and smaller in the rearview mirror.
Oh my
A
gosh,
distant
did they
nightmare.
escape?
A terrible, dark ghost. As it finally disappears,
Whew.
they feel a moment of
That was a
safety,
close call.
but really, only a moment. Because it occurs to them then that they cannot say with any confidence that this monster won't just be waiting for them when they get home.
Okay, that is creepy, guys. Now, I don't know if that's going to be the case because I don't know really much about this SCP. I don't know if it's going to be contained to the house or, like they just said, could it follow them home? if it can travel by darkness, it could technically go anywhere that it wants to at night, unless they live their entire lives in the light, where there's like no more shadows anywhere. Like they would need to have light on them 24/7 and carry a flashlight. And if this thing pops up, you gotta shine it in between its two giant eyeballs, right in the forehead with a flashlight. That's the only way to survive.
SCP-280, also known as Eyes in the Dark, is one of the more frightening and dangerous anomalies contained by the SCP Foundation.
It's
of course,
glorious.
It likely won't be causing an XK-class end-of-the-world scenario anytime soon.
Well, that's
but
good.
If you happen to run into this nocturnal monster, it's likely to cause an end-of-you scenario.
Hey, Dr.
and
Bob,
remove you
watch
from the
out
world with
for that
extreme
shadow
prejudice.
behind you.
There's no way of telling just how many lives it claimed before the SCP Foundation finally got it into containment, and perhaps it's best to just not think about that.
That is true, guys. You gotta think that this is one of those SCPs that would be so difficult to find, because imagine you're those two kids. Like, what do you tell people? If you tell people that your friend died to a ghost shadow figure, like, they're not going to believe you. Who's going to believe that? They're going to get sent to like a psycho asylum, and then they're going to be bunkmates with the Joker. It's just not going to work. So I feel like the SCP Foundation, they would have taken a very long time to actually realize that this thing was a threat.
SCP-280 is a black wraith-like apparition that floats at roughly average human height, with no visible legs or feet. As
I wonder
the
how
lower
you
portion
can
of its body
contain this
simply
thing.
fades away before it reaches the ground. In its dormant state, the entity may appear to be little more than a shadow, easily dismissed, especially in dark environments. This comes as a natural result of the being's frightening ability to become intangible at will, and only become physical when it enters a state of active aggression toward a human target. In this intangible state, victims have even been known to walk through the shadowy mass by accident.
So it did go
While this
through
doesn't
them.
lead to any detrimental physical
Huh.
effects. Victims report that being inside the creature can lead to heightened
Pause.
states of anxiety, fear, and dread. Despite its body being wholly composed of an unidentifiable black matter, when exposed to light, the creature does begin to express a pair of glowing dots on its head similar to eyes, hence its frightening nickname. However, all tests indicate that these eyes aren't actually functional. Instead, they appear to be
Oh.
a kind of defensive measure, like false eyes on the carapace of an insect.
Ah,
These eyes are never
interesting.
shown when
So they're
SCP-280
meant to scare
is
you.
advancing towards a victim, only when it is in retreat, though this is only one of the entity's several defensive responses. If an area where the creature is residing becomes fully illuminated, or a sudden flash of extremely bright light is
can
directed against
teleport.
it, then it will immediately dematerialize and appear in a different area.
Whoa.
The one positive thing that can be said about the hunting patterns of SCP-280 is that they're relatively predictable. The entity, it seems, only has an interest in human beings. When it selects
Well,
a
that's
target,
good.
it
I-
will pursue them
I guess.
relentlessly, approaching in its intangible form with its arms extended in what many describe as a sleepwalker pose. In this state, you may finally notice 280's claws, long, thin, and razor sharp. It may silently approach while the victim is turned the other way, or while they sleep soundly in bed.
Oh, that
or even
is
when they're paralyzed in fear
terrifying.
at the very sight of it.
Okay.
When SCP-280 closes the distance, it will begin to rip and tear at its victims with its claws.
That's
causing
what
massive
happened
physical trauma
to the
and,
family.
in some cases, death.
Wow.
Attacks range from 1 to 5 minutes of being relentlessly clawed at by the beast.
How did they figure that out? What did the SCP Foundation do? I guess just like every other SCP that they investigate, they use D-class personnel in order to figure out what the SCP does, how it operates, and also how it attacks. So they definitely sacrifice some D-class personnel to figure out that fact.
When the attack is over, it will simply expose its eyes, become intangible once more, and escape. You will not be able to overpower the creature. Foundation tests have shown that it has extreme physical strength.
So I'm really curious, guys, if it can go intangible, which basically means that it can go through solid objects, how can you contain this thing? Like, obviously, you need to attract it into an area, and then maybe do you have the surrounding area be completely lit up? Is that the only way to do that? So you have to have like pretty much like a box or like a room that is 100% dark, and then the surrounding area needs to be light so that if it does go intangible, it can't leave, because then it would just get burned by the light that's around it. That's the only thing I can think of.
And it's capable of tearing apart solid steel with little effort. If it can't find any humans to victimize, then it will simply remain dormant, pressing itself up against a wall, in a dark corner, or within some other structure.
So it just waits for people to come around.
Nervous about a certain dark corner in a room near you, it is best to remove yourself from the situation as quickly as possible and remain in a brightly lit area.
So what Dr. Bob is telling me, that my fear of running out of basements was not irrational. Every single time when I was younger and I had to go into a basement, when I had to turn out the lights, I would sprint up the stairs like I was Usain Bolt, because I had a feeling there was something down there and I did not want to find out what it was.
It would perhaps be comforting to believe that SCP-280 is acting on some twisted form of animal instinct. After all, while the results may seem horrific to us, every organism has to eat, right? Well, sadly,
is that what this thing is?
The case here.
Is it an organism?
SCP-280 does not appear to eat, sleep, or breathe to survive.
Oh, fantastic.
It never consumes any of the matter torn from its victims.
So it just does it for fun. It is sport killing.
Simply enjoys the harm it causes, taking a degree of
what is wrong with SCPs?
Murdering its targets. There is no better nature to appeal to here. The SCP Foundation's ability to study the creature's biology has also been stunted, in part due to the creature's highly aggressive nature, and also the fact that its selective intangibility makes gaining physical samples almost impossible. Even capturing and containing the creature in the first place came partially out of blind luck. It first came to Foundation attention after a series
Police
of
baffled by
mysterious murders in a small
Mysterious
Mississippi
murder.
township. In the most recent case, an entire family had been brutally murdered in their home, leaving only one survivor. A traumatized 9-year-old boy named David, who locked himself in the basement when he started to hear the screaming.
Poor little
He was
kid.
so terrified by the things he saw that night that he remained in a catatonic state for weeks afterwards, completely unresponsive to outside stimulus.
I can only imagine,
One
like,
detail
you're
saved his life.
traumatized
A
forever.
flashlight was clasped in his white knuckle grip, shining a bright beam of cold,
That's
white
how he
light
survived.
onwards. When David was removed and placed into medical care, officers began searching the building for any kind of clues as to how the other 4 family members were murdered. However, during this investigation, the police were just as vulnerable as the victims who'd been so recently slain.
Oh, wow.
While one officer was wandering around the attic, looking for any evidence they may have missed, SCP-280
No
emerged from the
way!
darkness and attacked, tearing into his body with its long, deadly claws.
What?
Luckily for the officer in question, he survived the incident, though he was badly wounded. His
Wow.
report on the matter, including the ardent claim that he was attacked by a being, quote, made from black smoke, caught the attention of SCP Foundation operatives embedded in the precinct.
Okay,
They soon
that's
took over the
good. That means that they
investigation
could
and descended on
finally
the house,
get this
hoping
thing.
to tag and bag whatever had been behind all these deaths.
Yes, tag
This
and
would be
bag.
easier said than done. While Foundation field agents canvassed the home, they simply walked past the creature multiple times.
So at this point, they have no idea what they're looking for. They literally have only one piece of information, and it's that the police officer got attacked by black smoke. So if you're going in there, you're probably just going to be looking around for like black smoke, but you're not going to be looking for like a shadow on the wall. So I have a bad feeling one of these SCP officers is going to get attacked.
Discounting it as a mere shadow. After all, it only had these easily identifiable glowing eyes when it was in a retreating position. Even when it entered its physical state, operatives brushing up against it generally dismissed the sensation as hair, clothing, or some other object touching them in the dark.
Also, why did they not
This
just turn on the
already
lights?
bungled investigation got even worse when the Foundation decided to introduce high-intensity lights into the equation, hopefully flushing the creature out.
So that's going
This,
to
of
make it
course,
angry.
only caused it to dematerialize and appear elsewhere. The chase ended in an almost farcical fashion. A cavalcade of Foundation agents chasing a cloud of sneering black smoke across a Mississippi field at 2:30 a.m. Thankfully for the human race,
Just another day in the
entity
SCP
was,
Foundation.
at the very least, eventually secured and contained. However,
So they basically use flashlights to like scare the SCP into this room in the SCP Foundation.
this wouldn't be the last time it was out of containment.
Oh,
During
it
a series
escaped.
of tests with different types of illumination, intending to test SCP-280's reflexes, it disappeared from its chamber. It seemed almost to sink through the different levels of the illuminated site before coming to rest at the containment chamber holding SCP-1591.
It went into a different
This made for a
container.
fascinating accidental cross-test. You see, SCP-1591, to put it simply, is a unique sculpture of a star that emits an incredibly bright light.
That's
This
not
light will
gonna
slowly
work.
make any being subject to its glow intangible before disappearing completely. When SCP-280 came before SCP-1591, it displayed its eyes, but did not retreat. In fact, It assumed a kneeling position and simply remained before the anomalous sculpture
What?
until it faded from existence.
And
It
wait,
then remanifested
what?
in its own containment chamber several hours later. without
What the
incident.
heck?
All things considered, it went pretty well.
I
as far
guess
as
so.
containment breaches involving deadly, human-hating monsters go.
That could have been way worse.
Because of its
What if they like merged together to create the ultimate like black hole of darkness? That actually would have been kind of sick.
ability to demanifest and phase through solid objects, SCP-280 is incredibly difficult to contain, earning it the dreaded Keter object class. In order to avoid the risk of demanifestation, SCP-280 is contained in a 5 by 5 meter cell that is perpetually left in a state of total darkness.
Okay,
No
that's what I said
equipment is to be
earlier,
left in
actually.
the cell unsupervised at any time, and any items brought into the cell for testing must be removed when the testing is complete. Any staff members entering the chamber for tests must be equipped with infrared goggles, an infrared ID strobe, and also a strong flashlight to ward the creature off in the case that it becomes aggressive.
Huh.
If SCP-280 does attempt to attack anyone in the chamber, all attending staff are instructed to turn on their flashlights and turn the beams against the creature.
That is
No
so
aggressive action is
dangerous.
permitted, and staff members must remain at least 1 meter away from SCP-280 at all times for their
Wow.
own safety. And if you suddenly feel yourself getting a little nervous in an eerily dark room, I'd like
Okay.
you to remember this. The
Yeah?
one thing more frightening than seeing eyes in the dark is not seeing them.
His body transforms.
What?
His bones warp and twist as feathers emerge from his pores.
I don't like where this is
Skull
going.
sharpens into a long, hard beak.
Okay.
He's in a living nightmare. And who could have guessed?
My boy
it
turned
all
into a
started
chicken.
With an innocent attempt to play hooky. It's an ordinary Monday morning, and all over town, children are waking up and reluctantly dragging themselves out of bed for school.
Okay, guys, I like to make predictions with these SCP videos, as I'm sure you guys know. All right, so from what I know about this SCP, it basically is some sort of food that you probably eat. And I'm guessing by the intro of today's video, this guy, or I guess this kid, is probably gonna wake up. He's not gonna wanna go to school, which I've done a million times, and you just fake being sick. So you're like, Mom, I have a stomach ache, and then you get a can of soup, you throw it in the toilet, you're like, hey, Mom, I threw up. And then your mom is like, okay, that's fine. You can stay home from school today. And then she makes you some food and it's really great. And then she leaves for work and then you play video games all day. I'm not recommending you do that. I'm just saying I maybe did that a few dozen times over the years. And anyway, I'm thinking that the SCP is going to be something that this kid ate. Probably something to do with chickens because we just saw he turned into a chicken in the intro. But that's my thought. Comment down below what you guys think.
School. Some are oversleeping, hitting the snooze on their alarms, and getting a bit of extra shut-eye before their exhausted parents notice, wake them up, and rush to get them to school before the first morning bell. In one particular bedroom, a young boy is awake but still in bed, brainstorming as fast as he can. He is determined to skip school today however he can. He usually doesn't mind school very much, but today, all he can think about is the math test he didn't study for.
I mean, yeah,
and a
we've all
mean
been there.
classmate who likes to knock his books out of his hands.
Sometimes you
But
just
he
want to
can't
skip
just
school.
ask to skip school for no reason. He has to come up with a plan. He runs to the bathroom, splashing hot water in his face to give him a flushed appearance and a warm forehead.
Oh, yeah.
Then he hops back into bed and begins to loudly cough and sniffle until
Genius.
his mother comes to check on him. He complains that he doesn't feel well enough to go to school, and sure enough, when his mother feels his forehead, it is hot to the touch. She agrees to let him stay home from school for the day, provided he stays in bed and gets plenty of rest. He promises that he will, and she leaves to go to work. On her way to work, the boy's mother remembers that there isn't much for him to eat while he's home alone all day.
There's half an eaten apple. Somebody took a bite out of an apple and put it back in the refrigerator. What a menace.
At least, there isn't much that he would want to eat while he's sick. She decides that she can be a little bit late to work for the sake of her son's health and pulls into a nearby grocery store. She
Okay,
rushes
so
out of her
she's a
car
good
into the
mom.
store, making a beeline for the soup aisle. She reaches for her usual go-to brand of chicken noodle soup, but finds the shelf completely bare.
Oh,
right,
I see
it's
where this
flu
is
season.
going.
Of course, the soup is sold out. Oh, great. This is exactly what she needs. A sick kid at home, one can of chicken noodle soup left at the store, and the machine won't even scan it.
Oh.
She smacks the side of the machine in frustration, and the screen reads invalid code, transaction canceled.
Okay, guys, so we already have our culprit. We know that this chicken noodle soup has to be the SCP. It's not showing up at the register, which means that it's not supposed to be in the store. Whoever put it there, or maybe the SCP like spawned itself there, it's not supposed to be in the store, which means that I have a really good feeling this is going to be the SCP.
With a heavy sigh, she glances over her shoulder. No one is watching. She tried to pay for the can to do the right thing.
Oh, she's gonna steal it.
Wouldn't let her. So she grabs the can and runs out of the store.
That's a W mom right there. She's willing to steal for her children.
Is out, the boy is at home raiding the pantry for snacks to sate his
It looks like they have so many snacks.
He fills up on Oreos and toaster pastries, cheesy crackers, and chips. When he hears his mother's car pulling into the driveway, he quickly wipes the crumbs from his face and jumps back into bed.
That happened to me one time. I faked being sick, and then I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I'm going to go play video games all day. And then I started playing Minecraft, and a little bit later, my dad came home, and he was like, actually, I don't think I have work today. And he stayed home the entire day. So the entire day, I had to act like I was sick, even though I wasn't, which kind of stunk.
Just in time for his mother to find him there, resting like he promised he would. She gives him a kiss on the forehead and tells him that she'll heat up some chicken noodle soup for him to eat. She's in a hurry to make it to work, though, so she'll need to leave it in the microwave for him. She pours the contents of the soup into a bowl, adds a bit of water, and pops the bowl into the microwave for a few minutes. She calls up to her son, letting him know that the soup will be ready when the microwave dings.
Oh, that stinks, dude.
Then she rushes out the door and heads to work for the day, confident that her son will be fine through her shift.
The mom is literally the one going to give him the SCP.
No. The boy hears the microwave ding, but his stomach is too full from his rummage through the pantry for him to want any of the soup, in spite of its heavenly aroma. Instead, he creeps into the living room and sits down to play video games until his eyes start to hurt. As he boots up his gaming system, he thinks for a moment that he can hear a strange noise coming from the kitchen. A soft, clucking sound.
Is that a chicken?
Like the chickens he saw on his grandparents' farm.
What?
But he quickly forgets about the sound as the screen lights up, and he disappears into the world of his favorite game. He plays for hours until the grumbling of his stomach interrupts his concentration.
Oh, this is where it's going to get bad, boys.
Hungry and remembers the soup his mother left in the microwave. It is certainly cold and unappealing by now, but he can just reheat it first. He punches the buttons on the microwave and waits for the soup to be ready. Again, he can hear strange noises coming from the microwave.
Okay, guys, comment down below what you would do if you're heating up chicken noodle soup and you hear a chicken clucking. Like, what's your reaction? I don't know what I would do. I would probably, first off, think I was insane. Secondly, I think I would probably not eat this soup, especially if I could, like, hear where the chicken was coming from. And I put my ear up to the microwave, and then I heard that the chicken was, like, inside the microwave. I probably would start panicking and then throw away the soup and then just keep eating more Oreos, because if I'm 12 years old, that's what I'm going to do.
But he doesn't think anything of it. The microwave dings, and he pulls out the bowl of soup, grabs a spoon, and digs in.
Oh, God.
A little while later, the boy's mother pulls into the driveway in a panic. She left work early when her phone rang with a call from her son. She answered, asking what was wrong, but he wouldn't answer her. All she could hear on the other end was rustling, heavy breathing, and some pained grunting.
Oh,
fearing the worst, she drove back as fast as she could, running several red lights along the way. Now she fumbles with her keys as she unlocks the door.
I feel so bad for this mom.
She grips her phone in her other hand, thumb hovering over the buttons, ready to dial 911.
You should probably call it.
For it. She pushes the front door open.
There's going to be a chicken.
Name. He doesn't answer, and her stomach drops. Suddenly, she hears the loud thud of something heavy being knocked to the ground.
What?
Something is terribly wrong here, and even though she might find her worst nightmare, she has to face whatever is waiting for her inside. She runs into the kitchen and finds it a mess. The bowl of soup is shattered on the floor, congealed, cold soup pooling on the tile. The kitchen table is turned over on its side.
Chicken feathers everywhere.
The kitchen chairs are in disarray, but the strangest sight is the dozens of tiny, white, fluffy things on the floor, counters, and furniture. She picks one up for a closer look and finds herself even more confused than before.
Oh, no.
It's a feather. They're all feathers. She calls her son's name again, praying for a response. This time, she receives one, though not the one she hopes for. She hears the sound of shuffling footsteps up above, followed by a strangled sound like a scream caught in someone's throat. She sprints up the stairs as fast as her legs can carry her, throwing open the door to her son's bedroom. There, she finds him. But this is not.
I just got goosebumps up and down my entire body.
His arms are covered with a thick layer of white feathers, the same feathers that are beginning to poke through the skin of his face.
That is so
into a
Terrifying.
floppy column of excess skin, the same sort of excess skin that is wobbling below his chin. And his mouth doesn't look like a mouth anymore. It's pointed and hard, and his lips click together.
That
when
had
he
to be so
speaks, or
painful.
rather, clucks. His bare feet are scaly and red, with claws protruding from his toes. He flaps his wings.
Oh my
eyes wide
God.
and wild, clucking and running back and forth across the room.
Bro, that
When
had
he
to be
looks at her,
painful.
she does not see recognition in his gaze. Her son, her beloved boy, has turned into a chicken.
I wonder if when the SCP takes over and like it turns you into a chicken, do you still like, I don't know, do you still have like your memories? Can you still like see things like, is this a person or is this just like a chicken? Just like a giant world's biggest chicken? I don't really know. Based on what Dr. Bob just said, that like the mom didn't recognize her son anymore and like didn't really see her son like in the chicken's eyes. It makes me believe that probably the chicken just like took over and now it's literally just like a big mindless chicken, and it doesn't really think as if it's a 12-year-old boy. But it would be even more terrifying if the boy is like stuck in the body of a chicken right now.
Unable to do anything else, the mother calls an ambulance. At first, the paramedics that arrive on the scene think the call was some sort of elaborate prank. But when they set eyes on the boy, they agree that something truly bizarre is going on.
Imagine seeing that.
They
That's
speed to the
just
hospital
crazy.
with the chicken boy in tow.
Chicken boy.
Sadly, are unable to save his life.
Sounds like a bad X-Men
The mother turns
superhero.
over the can of the mysterious soup to the authorities, who launch a formal investigation. Unfortunately, they are unable to trace the can to any store, nor are they able to verify the existence of the company name on its label. Employees of the grocery store where she found the can insist that they have never seen it in their lives. Several weeks after this incident occurred, the SCP Foundation conducted a raid on a New York office of Marshall, Carter, and Dark.
Okay, guys, so I don't know for sure, but I think that I've read somewhere about a certain string of SCPs that are made by like this Dr. Wondertastic SCP guy that makes all of these like toys and foods, mainly for children, that are actually SCPs in disguise. So nobody really knows that they're bad SCPs. People think that, oh, it's just like a toy, or it's like a water gun, or it's like a can of chicken noodle soup. And in actuality, the doctor made this as an SCP to do horrible things like turn little boys into grown-sized chickens.
For those of you unfamiliar with the organization, and that is most of the general population by design, Marshall, Carter, and Dark Ltd. is an extremely powerful multinational corporation founded by 3 individuals with those surnames, specializing in the acquisition and sale of anomalous items, entities, and experiences.
Okay, so they buy
Simply,
SCPs.
They run the largest anomalous black market in the world and are the crime bosses of the paranormal world.
Okay, something is definitely wrong with like that guy in the middle. I don't know if you guys noticed it, but yeah, his face looked a little bit strange.
To put it simply, they run the largest anomalous black market in the world.
It looks, I don't know, something's definitely up with these guys.
World. During this particular raid, SCP Foundation operatives recovered 17 different unusual items. Among the items discovered was a shipping crate, recently delivered by the Federal Postal Service from an invalid return address. This crate contained 103 cans of SCP-2057, as well as a copy of a letter written to one of the company's associates. So far, the letter has not been traced to an address. It reads, "Dear Cyrus, Maria has told me of the unfortunate circumstances that have befallen your children. I'd hope to hear about the improvement of their condition soon. As their godfather, I am extremely distressed to hear this. Having experienced a child suffering from the measles myself, I know how terrifying it can be when it seems as if they are getting worse. Recently, we received a shipment of something that I hope can help your family. There is a crate in the storage area marked with Wondertainment.
That's what it is,
item.
Dr.
It will not be
Wondertainment.
there long, as it goes to auction next week. I will leave a key under the photo of your family on your desk. Follow the instructions exactly. Do not, under any circumstances, do anything different than what is directed on the can."
Okay, so I'm guessing that the mom earlier in this video did not read the instructions. She just threw it in the microwave for 2 minutes. Or actually, maybe those were the instructions originally, and then the little boy, because he left it for so long, put it in for an additional 2 minutes, and maybe that's what messed it up? That's the only thing that I can think of.
Destroy this message as soon as possible. I do not want any of this to come back on us. Be careful, my friend. Williams. SCP-2057 consists of 92 318 milliliter cans of condensed chicken noodle soup. Each can is covered with a brightly colored label depicting images of noodles, a cartoon chicken, and dancing vegetables. In addition to this inviting imagery, each label is emblazoned with the text, Dr. Wondertainment's Ultralicious Chicken Noodle Soup
Oh
for
my
Kids.
gosh. I mean, if I saw that in the grocery store, I'm definitely getting it. Like, there is a 1000% chance that I am buying that.
Each can has a pull-top lid for easy opening. It is printed with a set of nutrition facts, ingredients, and instructions for
It sounds
eating.
delicious.
The nutrition facts are as follows. Calories, 95. Fat, 3.17 grams. Carbohydrates, 2.2 grams.
Gotta get your
Protein,
carbs in.
13.48 grams.
That's pretty specific.
Vitamin W, 2 grams.
Wait, vitamin W? Is that a real... wait, what? Vitamin W. Is that a thing? I don't think so. No, but okay, that's probably the secret ingredient that nobody really knows about.
And Mother's
Wait,
Love,
Mother's Love.
10 grams.
Wait, what?
The SCP Foundation attempted
That's
to
a W.
analyze the contents of the soup in order to compare it to the posted nutrition facts. The calories, fat, carbohydrates, and protein were found to be accurately reported. Vitamin W was present in reported amount as well.
Yeah, what is
though
that?
It was not a compound that the Foundation scientists had ever encountered before. Mother's Love, as it is an intangible concept, was not able to be identified or measured in the analyzed soup samples. The ingredients are listed as ultralicious chicken stock, enriched Chinese egg noodles,
Okay.
finest cooked chicken breast, farm fresh carrots, crispy crunchy celery, sweet Vidalia onions, no paint thinner, fresh mountain spring water, vitamin W. Contains less than 2% of the following ingredients: a pinch of salt, a
Okay.
smidgen of chicken fat,
Okay.
a sprinkle of spice extracted from rare plants,
Sounds
a dash
great.
of high-quality unicorn tears.
What the... Okay, the unicorn tears, I've heard this from other SCPs, are like the thing that can cure any disease. So I'm guessing that might be what the vitamin W is from, and that's why in the note earlier, well, the Dr. W guy was saying that if you follow the instructions correctly, then this will cure the measles in the woman's kid. So I'm guessing the unicorn tears is probably behind that, if I had to guess. But if you mess up the instructions, you probably destroy the recipe, and then you turn into a chicken. So there's that.
Instructions for heating read, "Hey kids, feeling sick, icky, or downright yucky? Just pop open a can of Dr. Wondertainment's Ultralicious Chicken Noodle Soup for Kids. Place contents of the can in a medium-sized soup pot. Add a can of water, stir, and heat. Watch
Yeah, the
as
mom
fun
did not do
begins.
that.
Eat hearty, and you'll feel better and ready to play with Dr. Wondertainment toys in no time." All of this is relatively straightforward, give or take a few unusual ingredients. Someone taking only a quick look might mistake a can of this soup for any other chicken noodle soup. However, it does have something that most ordinary canned soup does not.
Unicorn
A warning
tears?
label.
Oh, the
Dr.
warning label.
Wondertainment's Ultralicious Chicken Noodle Soup.
Wait, so is Dr. Bob saying that all other chicken noodle soups have unicorn tears? Is that what I just heard?
For kids is intended to be eaten while it is hot to make you feel better in no time at all. Do not consume after it has become cold. Do not reheat. By purchasing from
that's
Dr.
it.
Wondertainment, you
Do
agree
not
to not
reheat.
hold Dr. Wondertainment or any of Dr. Wondertainment's affiliates accountable for injuries or damages incurred by your product. Thank you for purchasing from Dr. Wondertainment.
You see, if somebody wrote that on a can, you would think that, oh, like, what could possibly be the injuries? Maybe, I don't know, I'll like cut myself on the can, or maybe, I don't know, I'll get like a stomach ache from some bad chicken. Most people are probably not expecting that there is a small chance if they cook it wrong and eat the soup cold, that they will turn into, and I want to put some emphasis on this, a full-sized chicken. I don't think anybody's expecting that.
So what exactly is in a can of Dr. Wondertainment's Ultralicious Chicken Noodle Soup for Kids?
Chicken and soup.
When the SCP Foundation first opened a can to take a look, they found that it was filled with condensed chicken broth and a mass of egg noodles shaped like an egg. When water was added and the contents of the can were heated to a temperature of 70 degrees Celsius, the noodle-based egg hatched.
But there's a
Inside
chicken
was a small
inside?
domesticated chicken made up of egg noodles, carrot, celery, onion, and cooked chicken breast. For
What?
simplicity's sake, this chicken noodle soup chicken is referred to as SCP-2057-1. As the Foundation researchers continue to heat the broth to a higher temperature, SCP-2057-1 began to move around, make audible chirping sounds, and eat
Oh,
the broth.
okay, so
As
that's
it ate, it grew larger
the sound
and larger
that we heard
until it
earlier.
reached a mass of 85 grams and resembled a miniature adult chicken. At a temperature between 35 and 70 degrees Celsius, SCP-2057-1 behaved much like an ordinary chicken. It continued to behave normally even as it was consumed or cut apart, apparently feeling no pain or awareness of its situation.
Okay, that's
Dissection
insane.
of SCP-2057-1 revealed that its insides were made up of soup ingredients, including celery and onion bones,
What?
cooked chicken breast muscles, carrot beak and legs, and chicken broth blood. When SCP-2057-1's temperature dropped below 35 degrees Celsius, it stopped moving and collapsed into the soup. At a temperature below 20 degrees Celsius, it became congealed and unappetizing. With these observations completed, the Foundation then attempted to measure the effects of this unusual chicken soup on a person that ingested it. When test subjects were fed samples of the soup at a temperature between 35 and 70 degrees Celsius, they had a very positive experience.
Okay, so that's the
soup's
temperature
taste
you're
was
supposed to
described
eat it
as
at.
Excellent, delicious, and homey.
Okay, I kind of want to, I mean, this is probably not a good thing to want, but I really kind of want to test this out for myself. I want to eat it hot, don't get me wrong. I do not want to turn into a fully grown chicken, but I do want to experience some really high quality chicken noodle soup. It sounds amazing.
Though the meal caused a bit of psychological distress due to the soup chicken's realistic appearance and behavior,
That is
it
kind of
improved every
strange.
test subject's physical well-being. This eventually applied to test subjects with a case of influenza, measles, or the common cold.
So yeah, it can heal
Following
them.
consumption of SCP-2057, each subject with a diagnosed illness of this kind reported immediate relief from their
Wow.
symptoms, including fever, aches and pains, cough, and congestion.
So it's actually like a good
With
SCP.
this positive, if a bit disturbing, effect documented, the Foundation next set out to determine what would happen if they let the soup get cold before it was eaten. Test subjects served this version of the soup had a far worse experience, describing the taste of their meal as bland, disgusting, and repulsive.
So it actually changes
67%
flavors.
of the test subjects experienced cramps, chills, and
Oh,
diarrhea.
and they get
following their
even more
consumption of the
sick
soup,
if it's
and
cold.
62% found themselves making involuntary clucking noises, as well as experiencing a strong aversion to poultry products.
Oh, okay.
Again, several test subjects were deliberately selected based on their cases of influenza, measles, and the common cold. These test subjects immediately began to develop troubling symptoms, including the growth of pin
Oh
feathers on
my
their forearms,
gosh, it's happening
loosened
again.
excess skin on their heads and under their chins, a change in their ability to walk normally, and distressing hallucinations.
So guys, I'm kind of curious, and I feel like this is a question most of you guys probably have, but like, let's say you eat the soup and it's cold and then you get more sick, you start turning into a chicken. What if then you eat the soup again, but it's like the warm version, like you follow the instructions, you heat it up, you add the water, and then will that cure you? Like, are you no longer going to be a chicken? Will it fix everything? Because it seems like it kind of fixes most illnesses. So I feel like it would probably fix everything.
Of being hung upside down by the ankles. Following these 2 rounds of testing, the research team decided to see why exactly the warning label advised against reheating the soup. D-Class 45782 was selected as the test subject for this particular experiment, and was instructed to reheat a bowl of cooled SCP-2057-1 in a microwave on high for 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Then, he was to consume the reheated soup and report his experience to a camera placed in the room with him.
So I guess
As
this is the
instructed,
worst thing that you can do.
D45782 microwaved the bowl of soup. As it heated in the microwave, it emitted unintelligible vocalizations in a deep voice. After removing the bowl from the microwave, D45782 noted that it was gelatinous looking, with blackened burnt bits around the edges. He took 3 bites of the disgusting, hot and cold at the same time mixture before spitting it out onto the floor and refusing to eat another bite. 15 minutes after tasting the reheated soup, D45872 began to exhibit significant distress, clucking angrily into the camera.
So this is what happened to the young kid at the start of today's video.
More difficult to understand, clucks and other chicken-like vocalizations making up most of his attempted speech.
Oh
He
no.
began scratching vigorously at his arms to the point of drawing blood.
No.
Whose skin could be seen gathering on the top of his head and under his neck.
Oh, I don't like
6
this
minutes
part.
later, D45872 had lost the ability to speak. Large white pin feathers had sprouted from his arms, covering the skin, and smaller white feathers were beginning to sprout from his face. After 16
I don't
more
like
minutes
that.
passed,
Oh, no.
D45872 began attacking other objects in the room, attempting to destroy the microwave.
It's an
knocking the bowl
angry
of soup to the
chicken.
floor, and flipping over a table and chair. He had grown feathers over 67% of his skin, and his face had begun to change drastically. His nasal area was elongated and hardened, joining with his lower jaw in an appendage resembling a bird's beak.
He looks like an animatronic from Five Nights at Freddy's.
His nasal cavity. Only 5 minutes later, D45872 suddenly stopped moving and collapsed to the floor, dead.
Dead?
Following D45872's death, an autopsy was performed. These were the findings. Autopsy revealed D45782's cause of death was due to extreme and sudden physical change of internal organs, resulting in shock and cardiac arrest.
So I wonder, is that what happened to the kid at the start of today's video?
93% of the subject's skin was covered in feathers. Physical changes in the face resulted in a beak-like alteration of the nose and mouth. Loose skin under the neck and on the top of the head resemble a wattle and comb. Subject's lower legs were found to be covered in thick, scaly skin, with the toes of the subject's feet.
Somebody's got to cut them toenails.
The subject and instance of SCP-2057-1 were incinerated after testing and autopsy. Whenever
they made
not
fried
being
chicken
used for approved experimentation, all cans of SCP-2057 must be stored in a standard, large-volume storage locker in Containment Area 27 and kept at a temperature of 25 degrees Celsius. Because SCP-2057 is in limited supply, all experiments must first be approved by at least 2 personnel with 2-1103 clearance, as well as receiving the go-ahead from Dr. Applegate. There are still 41 cans of Dr. Wondertainment's chicken soup unaccounted for.
Wow, so they've done like 50 experiments.
To track them down so far. Who knows where they ended up? Maybe at another office of Marshall, Carter, and Dark. Or maybe, just maybe, one made its way onto the shelves at your local grocery store. Best to be careful out there.
This is one of the highest requested
You're driving
SCPs.
down a desolate stretch of highway somewhere in New Mexico. There's nothing out here except for you, your car, and the road.
They always start out so
What
spooky.
you don't know is that you're about to encounter something. Something terrifying.
Of course.
moon.
Okay, this is going to
The
be a Keter
sky
class
is
for
pitch
sure.
black. Your own car is barely lighting up the dark road ahead of you. Just then, you spot something in your rearview mirror.
It's not going to be a
It's a pair of
car.
headlights. There's nothing too strange about them.
Oh, boys.
Your eyes are so adjusted to the darkness that you have to look away. When you glance in the mirror again, you see that they're closer. Much closer.
Somebody has their high
They
beams
must be
on.
going awfully fast. You don't know why, but something about the car behind you makes you feel uneasy.
Yeah, maybe it's the fact that they have massively overpowered
Maybe you
headlights.
can keep some distance from them.
Speed up.
The lights keep getting closer.
Oh, no,
As you
no,
speed up a
no.
little more. Still, they gain on you, growing bigger and bigger in your rearview mirror. You're getting nervous. They look like they are barreling right towards you. You floor it. The lights are able
Go,
to
go,
keep
go,
up
go, go,
easily,
go.
though.
How?
And now, they're right on your tail. No matter how fast you go, they stay right behind you. The
That
lights
is
are
so
bright and
weird.
close that they're almost blinding. You're in a full-blown panic. What is going on? Now the lights are swerving back and forth behind you. What do they want? You take a sharp turn without indicating, but they follow you without difficulty.
Okay, that's the
You keep your
creepiest
foot
part.
Smashed down on the accelerator. Your engine is screaming, but they just get closer and closer. They're
Oh,
right
guys,
on
I'm
your
getting
bumper.
creeped out.
The bright white lights burn your eyes so bad that you swat at the rearview mirror to point it down. You look up just in time to see the
Whoa!
deer standing in the middle of the road. You slam on your brakes as
Wait, guys, is the deer a part of the SCP? Are they working together? Somehow does the SCP control the deer? I need answers to this.
hard as you can. Your tires squeal loudly in the night, and you brace yourself to both hit the deer and get rear-ended from behind. You stop inches from the deer as something incredible happens.
The deer didn't
two
even move.
headlights seem to split,
Huh?
passing by you on either side of your car.
It
You and the
wasn't
deer
a
lock
car?
eyes for a split second, as if you're both thinking, "What was that?" Before the deer hops away into the night. You don't know what's happening, but you're not going to wait around to find out. You throw the car in reverse and hit the gas.
Okay, guys, I want you to comment down below what you would do in that particular situation. I mean, at the start, I would probably, if I am on a road in the middle of the desert, and somebody is riding my butt, I would probably tell them to, like, pass. Like, usually if you're driving, you could be like, hey, if you want to speed, you could go in front of me. And I would start with that. And then if they didn't do that, then I would get really creeped out. I would probably call my mom and have my mom come pick me up because my mom would fight them. But if that doesn't work, and then I kept going faster and the headlights split and swerved around me, I would probably think that it's like two motorcycles that were riding next to each other and they're just being weird, like playing a prank on me. And then they dodged me at the very last second. But if it wasn't that, I guess, I don't know, maybe the SCP literally is just like a light that flies around. I have no idea what it looks like yet, so I'm kind of curious to see.
Before whipping it around 180 degrees. You can't remember how far the last town was, but there's no chance you're going in the direction of those lights. You drive as fast as you can, checking your mirror constantly to see if anything is behind you.
Oh,
Nothing.
if they come back,
Just
I am going to
darkness.
freak out, boys.
You're finally safe. No, they're right in front of you.
Nope.
The lights
Oh,
somehow
no.
appear out of nowhere, right in front of your car. You turn the wheel hard to avoid a head-on collision, and you go flying off the road, smashing your head against the window.
Oh,
the
dude.
car goes flipping and rolling and tumbling. The car comes to a stop.
You should have just smashed them.
Upside down, with a lone blinking turn signal dimly lighting up the surrounding field. A single headlight approaches the car.
Just a
It's not
single
moving
one.
like a vehicle. It's moving like an animal.
Oh my
You're concussed
gosh,
from the
what
accident,
is
and your
this
vision
thing?
is starting to fade. The last thing you see is a second light approaching. The next morning, the local sheriff
That's
is
it?
investigating the scene of a single car accident. Curiously, there's no body. Just
Oh
a few scraps of clothing,
my
and a
God.
pair of tennis shoes sitting neatly in the upside down.
Guys, I just got goosebumps all over my body. So whatever this SCP is, it went over and it either A, ate whoever that guy was, or B, it kidnapped the guy and like brought it back to its lair. I don't know exactly how smart this SCP is. Some of them are kind of just like animalistic in nature. Like they kind of just do the things that they got to do to survive and get food. So it could be that where they just ate the guy just to survive, or B, they have some weird sinister plans and they have like a lair, and it's a lot more intelligent than we think. Unlike me, I have 2 brain cells.
Roof of the car. Strangest, though, are the childlike handprints all over the dirty car door.
Childlike handprints?
The sheriff doesn't know what to think.
That's weird.
What the sheriff doesn't know is that he has just come upon the aftermath of an SCP-745 attack.
What?
A strange
Okay, all right. That's what we've been watching this entire time. That is insane, dude. That looks like the Pixar lamp had a child with like a velociraptor. What the actual flip? That is crazy. And obviously, it's a carnivore. Look at those teeth. They are the sharpest teeth. It basically has like dinosaur T-Rex teeth. So you know for a fact that dude is dead. That dude is deader than dead on a Tuesday morning. And the weirdest part is its mouth like isn't even on its face. It's like on its neck, which is just even more creepy.
and mysterious creature known as the headlights.
Yeah,
SCP-745
that makes sense.
is
It
the
looks like headlights.
classification the SCP Foundation has given to a bipedal nocturnal predator, whose hunting grounds are an abandoned stretch of highway in northern New Mexico. SCP-745's most distinctive feature by far is its head.
Well, yeah, it's
top
not
of
the
which is
tail.
a bloated sack of translucent skin. There are no visible
Ew.
sensory organs
Oh, it's its
present on the
brain.
head, nor does it appear to have a solid skull. And
Oh.
the creature's brain can be directly seen through the semi-transparent skin, which is covered in a web of bioluminescent organs.
So if that guy, when the headlights were running at him, if he just ran them over, he probably would have been okay. Instead, obviously, he thought it was a car, which would be way worse if you're, coming into a head-first collision with another car. You're probably going to die. But if he knew that these were actually just like dinosaur Pixar lamps, then maybe he could have survived.
These organs are capable of producing a steady output of light that's been measured between 1400 to 3200 lumens, which is the equivalent
sounds
of
pretty bright.
xenon gas headlights.
Right, okay.
The entity has been observed to have the ability to change the color of this light.
Okay, that's
as well
really
as flash
cool.
it in specific patterns.
I need this
It
for
is
my gaming
theorized
setup.
that it engages in this behavior as a way to defend itself, and potentially
what?
may also use it as a way to communicate with other members of.
Also, guys, are you seeing this right now? It looks like this creature has more arms than... Okay, wait. Does it? I'm kind of confused. The arms are looking really weird. Like, I didn't realize that they could put their arms out to the side, so it kind of looks like they're wings. But the one on the left, I don't know. Like, the legs kind of look like feet, and the feet kind of look like hands, and I'm very, very confused.
Of its species. The rest of SCP-745's body is covered in skin that is a deep, dark, black color that almost seems to absorb light. This quality, when paired with their blindingly bright head protrusion, gives the appearance of a floating point of light in the darkness.
Whoa.
Because SCP-745 entities hunt almost exclusively in pairs, with their preferred hunting grounds being remote sections of highway, they are easily mistaken for oncoming or approaching headlights. Two SCP-745 entities are able to move together in perfect synchronicity, running in tandem at speeds up to 180 kilometers per hour. Together,
Are
they
you
will target
joking?
lone vehicles that they spot on the highway and will begin to chase or run straight towards them.
I'm also kind of curious, guys. They've mentioned that this SCP can change colors of the light that's on its forehead, but can it like turn off the light if it wanted to? That would be really overpowered because it could basically just like disappear at a moment's notice, especially if it hunts at night and the entire body is pitch black. I guess they could make the light black, but that probably wouldn't work. Honestly, you would still be able to see it. So if they could turn off the light, that would be just even more deadly.
Giving the unlucky driver the impression that a fast-moving car is rapidly approaching them. After they near the targeted car, they will attempt to stop it by any means necessary, whether by simply forcing the driver to pull over out of fear,
did they
or by running them
put
off
the
the
deer
road
there?
completely. Once their prey has stopped, crashed, or become otherwise incapacitated, the pair will stop moving together and approach the car separately to directly assault and then consume the vehicle's occupants.
Okay, so he did
Next
get
to no
eaten.
remains are left following an attack, save for a few scraps of clothing in the victim's shoes. Other than the damage sustained during the accident, there is never any other sign of struggle or forced entry, with the only other evidence left at the scene being the childlike handprints from SCP-745's small front paws.
Interesting. Okay.
Strangely, analysis of SCP-745's genetic structure has revealed that unlike humans, they are not a carbon-based life form, meaning
What?
it is unlikely
They're
then
aliens?
that they are able to derive any nutrition from the consuming of human flesh.
They're just doing
is
it for
theorized
fun?
Then that they may be hunting solely for sport or some other form of perverse enjoyment.
What?
This question remains unanswered, as currently there are no recorded observations of SCP-745 feeding in the wild.
Well, yeah, that kind of makes sense considering that there was a deer in the road that they could have easily captured and eaten if they wanted to, but they obviously did not. And they ran this dude off the road in his vehicle and apparently killed him not because they needed to eat, but because they did it for fun, which is 10 times scarier.
As successful attacks have never left any witnesses.
Wow.
And specimens captured by the SCP Foundation refuse to eat at all. No layers, nests, or other refuge of SCP-745 has ever been found.
So they're basically
nor has
aliens.
the Foundation located any breeding grounds or young examples of the entity. It's unknown how or if they reproduce, or when they may have first appeared. What is known is that they had established a wide hunting territory across the American Southwest until Foundation teams began a program to thin their numbers in the 1960s.
1968.
The effort appears to have been successful so far, and all recent
it's
sightings
working.
of SCP-745 have been limited to a specific stretch of highway in northern New Mexico.
Okay, if you guys are there, just be on the lookout, you
has
know.
been classified as Euclid, and in order to limit potential exposure to civilians, the Foundation has purchased the land surrounding the highway, with
That's
traffic
smart.
being redirected to other roads. Foundation security teams disguised as highway patrol officers are to remove any trespassers or lost travelers who accidentally find themselves on the dangerous stretch of highway. The security teams are also tasked with attempting to capture any instances of SCP-745
How?
that they can.
Oh, with a net.
And any recovered creatures, live or dead, are to be loaded into Class 3 BCU storage containers and transferred to Site 17 for further study.
So it doesn't seem like the SCP has any like crazy abilities other than the fact that it has a giant light bulb on its brain and that can change colors. That's like the only cool ability that it seems to have. It doesn't have anything like the prototype, for example, can like make a black hole out of thin air. So it's basically like an animal in the wild, but we have animals like this, just like obviously not on land. We have tons and tons of fish in the sea that have this like same sort of bioluminescent feature where like it looks like they have a light bulb. Obviously you guys have probably seen Nemo, and there's a fish in the movie that literally has like a little tiny dangling light bulb, very similar to this SCP's light bulb that is basically like on its head, that is used as a distraction to basically get its prey to like, I don't know, just like think something different, that there's no actual danger. And then as soon as they get close enough, boom, they're dead. So it's kind of the same exact thing, but we don't have anything like it on land. I mean, unless we're counting this SCP as real.
Containment procedures that are able to preserve living specimens are still being researched, and currently, no examples of SCP-745 have survived for more than a week in captivity.
Poor guy.
However, seeing as there have been no new sightings of SCP-745 outside
Are they
of the
extinct?
isolated and monitored stretch of highway, and all reports of phantom lights elsewhere in the country have not pointed to evidence of additional SCP-745 outbreaks, they are considered to be effectively contained.
Here we go.
The girl and her 13-year-old brother are settling in for their favorite after-school activity, watching TV. The children's parents won't be home from work for several hours, and watching the after-school programming together before making a snack is a staple of their day. The boy takes his normal position on the couch as the girl plants herself right in front of the television and turns it on. This is the time when Pretty Pony Paradise comes on, and she never misses an episode.
Oh no,
The brother would
dudes.
prefer something else, but he also loves to see his sister happy.
Aw.
So he always lets her watch the ponies have their adventures.
It starts out
Today,
so
though,
wholesome.
when she turns to the right channel, there's something else.
Oh
Instead of the usual
no.
Pretty Pony theme song, circus music comes out of the television speakers. The girl watches as the brightly colored words "Bobble the Clown"
Bobble the
appear on screen.
clown.
Hey, this isn't Pretty Ponies, she says to her brother. But when she looks back,
What?
he's asleep.
Oh my,
The
wait,
girl
what?
isn't happy, but she decides to give this new show a chance.
He fell asleep so
And maybe
fast.
her pony show will come on after anyway. The circus music stops, and a happy-looking clown cartwheels onto the screen.
Guys, that is not a happy looking clown.
The
That thing
garish
is
clown says,
freaky.
Do you like fun?
Comment down below how you guys feel about clowns. Personally, I have always been terrified of clowns. Anytime I see one in real life, I just turn around and I go the opposite direction. They creep me out.
The girl did like fun. Perhaps this new show wouldn't be so bad. She watches as Bobble walks down the street of an average, happy American small town. Everyone seems to love the happy clown, waving at him as he passes by. Bobble pauses in front of a house where a man is mowing the lawn. He convinces the man to stop his yard work and join him. And the two happily
Okay.
head down the sidewalk
So far,
together.
so good.
The girl is a little confused by this show. There's not much in the way of jokes, but she decides to keep watching anyway. Bobble and his new friend stop in front of a house that is painted to resemble a circus tent. This must be where Bobble lives. He invites the man in, and they both enter the house. Inside,
I don't know
Bobble
about
motions
this,
the man
guys.
to sit while he prepares some refreshments. The girl watches as Bobble moves to the kitchen. There, he begins sharpening knives as he explains directly to the camera the best way to prepare meat, the way the skin must carefully be removed from the flesh, and how the bones should be saved for future soup stocks.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know this for sure, but I have a weird feeling that Bobble the Clown, first off, obviously is the SCP, and secondly, I think that this TV show is about Bobble the Clown pretty much luring people to his house like just normal people, and then he tricks them and then does something to them, and then, I don't know, they get knocked out or they get tied up, and then he just starts chopping up their bodies or something weird like that. I don't know for sure, but this is definitely getting super creepy.
The girl watches with fascination as Bobble teaches his special lesson. Maybe this is a good show after all. Maybe this is her new favorite show. The girl gets up, her brother still asleep, and heads to the kitchen. She pulls out a drawer to help her reach the counter. where the knife block is,
no.
and pulls out the meat cleaver.
Are you kidding
Looks
me
at it
right
gleaming in the
now?
light, entranced by its sharp, shiny edge. The girl returns to the living room. and gets up
What
onto
are
the
you
couch next to her
doing,
sleeping
girl?
brother. She watches as Bobble steps away from his pot of red, boiling meat.
Okay.
Looks right into the
What
camera.
kind of meat is
The
that?
girl stands up and holds up the meat cleaver.
Okay, guys, why does she look so, like, confident holding a knife like that? Like, I wonder if the SCP is taking over her mind and making her think that, like, what is happening is okay, when in reality, I don't know. She is definitely losing her brain right now. She has, like, negative 12 brain cells, because I have a weird feeling that she's in a trance, and Bobble the Clown is going to make her kill her own brother.
Bobble walks towards the camera with fascination in his eyes, as if he can see through the screen.
I was gonna say, he's looking at me like he is looking into my soul.
She slowly raises the knife above her head.
Don't do
As
it.
Bobble starts whispering,
No, no, no.
"Come on."
No, no, no.
Do it.
No, 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 no.
licking
Bobble.
his lips in anticipation.
Bobble, please do not come out of
The
that
girl
TV.
pauses for a second, looks at her sleeping brother one more time,
Wake up.
and brings the cleaver.
No! Oh my gosh!
Hi,
You gotta be kidding
I'm
me.
Dr. Bob, and this is SCP-993, also known as Bobble the Clown.
Guys, on this channel, we've investigated some absolutely crazy SCPs, but I've never seen an SCP that makes a kid actually turn into a killer. Like, she just, I don't know if she like thought that that was okay, but I don't know, man. I've never seen an SCP make a child do something that horrible. I can't believe it. This might be one of the worst SCPs we've ever checked out.
SCP-993 is the designation the SCP Foundation has given to a children's television program entitled Bobble the Clown.
I wonder if this is
At
made
first
by
glance,
Dr.
The Bobble
Wondertainment.
the Clown show appears to be a standard children's educational cartoon with bright colors, a mascot, and a rote formula. that
His
involves the
eyes
titular character
creep
Bobble
me
the
out.
Clown learning a new skill or engaging in a new activity. The program appears to have no recurring supporting cast, with Bobble being the only character who returns to each episode. The settings usually change between episodes as well, with Bobble often being seen in a new or unique location. Despite appearing as a show made for children, the anomalous properties exhibited by this strange television program make themselves apparent almost immediately. First, anyone older than the age of 10 who watches the show
Oh, wow.
will immediately fall unconscious as soon as it begins.
So you don't even need to be an adult. I thought maybe this would target, you know, kids under the age of 18 or under the age of like 16, you know, like younger kids, but like teenagers were still included in that. But no, this is like you have to be an actual kid. And if you're not, you're going to pass out. And then basically you're going to get murdered by a child, by a 6-year-old with a cleaver in their hand, which is absolutely insane.
And will remain in a comatose state until the program ends.
So that's why the brother
Upon
fell
waking,
asleep so
they will report
fast.
having felt a painful, stabbing headache just prior to falling unconscious. The show's most disturbing property, though, is what has been described by those under the age of 10 who are able to view the program. They report seeing Bobble the Clown teach lessons similar to the way many children's shows extol the virtues of good hygiene or going to bed on time. But with Bobble, the lessons are quite different.
Exactly. It's like Dora the Explorer if Dora was actually a serial killer, pretty much.
Topics that Bobble has presented lessons on and encouraged children to try have included torture, murder, and even cannibalism.
Bro!
As the subject watches,
Wait, what
the
was that
lessons
last
appear to become
one?
ingrained in their minds, and repeated exposure to the show has resulted in permanent effects that resemble symptoms of psychosis and schizophrenia.
Okay, so it does
Documented
kind of like
episodes
change
Bobble
your
the Clown
mind
have
when you
included
watch the
Bobble
show
in the
as a
Big
kid.
City, in which Bobble appears in a large United States city reminiscent of New York, and instructs the viewer on various ways to avoid detection when lighting fires with common resources like mosquito coils. The episode ends with Bobble setting fire to a large building
serious?
before he exits the screen.
He's like the
camera
real life
continues
Joker.
To stay locked on the burning building for several more minutes as the sound of screams can be heard.
I kind of want to know like who's
In another
filming
titled
this.
Bobble's Sneaky Saturday, Bobble is again in a major city, this time one that looks similar to London, England, with the Elizabeth Tower containing Big Ben visible in the background. In this episode, Bobble is shown to be quietly following a woman as she walks into her home.
Lady,
Once she
turn
arrives,
around, lady.
Bobble attacks her with a large butcher knife before
Bro,
giving the audience
Bobble
tips on
is
how to remain
absolutely
unnoticed in crowded
nuts.
places.
These kids are
Bobble
watching
gets
it
the
like
truth,
this is the
finds
best
the clown
content
in a
they've
prisoner
ever
of war
seen.
camp, where Bobble is shown torturing a captured soldier as he
Yo!
asks him nonsensical questions that the soldier cannot possibly answer.
Are you
This
kidding me?
continues until the prisoner dies, after which Bobble details methods for inflicting painful but non-lethal injuries.
Okay, guys, I feel like this actually would make for like a pretty cool, like adult TV series, like some sort of like horror series, but definitely not meant for kids. Like the fact that this is meant for kids under the age of 10 and anybody that's older than 10 falls asleep and is at risk of being, you know, unalived by a young child. The fact that that is like what this SCP is just so messed up, but it would make for a pretty good like Netflix series if, you know, somebody ever decided that they wanted to turn this into some sort of like really cool dark horror series. I think it could work pretty well.
Bobble Hates You is one of the most
Bobble
unnerving
Hates You?
documented episodes.
Bobble?
It consists of Bobble sitting alone
Bobble?
in a blank room,
Bobble?
silently and angrily staring at the viewer.
Bobble, what did
for a
I do?
full 30 minutes.
30 minutes
But
of
the
just
strangest of
staring?
all is from an episode title filled with expletives, in which Bobble appears to be in a Foundation secure site video archive room. The same one where recordings of Bobble the Clown are stored.
Okay, wait a second. So he broke into an SCP facility where they have all of these tapes of Bobble and like previous episodes. So wait, how would that even happen? What is Bobble? Because we think that Bobble is like a normal human, kind of. Maybe not normal, but like, is he a human or is he more like a spirit that can like teleport around? Is he some sort of like demonic creature? Like, we don't know exactly what Bobble even is.
In this episode, a rage-filled Bobble describes methods for breaching several SCPs' containment.
Oh.
He then gives personal details about the researchers assigned to these SCPs,
what?
including their daily routines, before offering several potential ways to murder them.
Okay, so Bobble is like freaking nuts. He's actually nuts.
One point, an animated depiction of a particular SCP Foundation researcher is seen to walk past Bobble.
Okay.
A clock on the wall shows the time, and this same researcher later confirmed that they did, in fact, walk through the video archive at this exact time.
Wait, so Bobble was there?
Recollection of seeing an animated clown filming a television program in the room when they did so.
Oh my God.
Episodes of Bobble the Clown continue to be broadcast from an unknown source, but future episodes are to be intercepted using Protocol Upsilon Beta 3 to prevent them from being seen by the public. All broadcasts are recorded for the Foundation's archives, and in order to perform research on the anomaly, subjects under the age of 10 must be used to view them. Once the viewers have described what takes place in the episode, they are then to immediately be administered Class A amnestics.
Gotcha. That's actually kind of crazy. So they have children pretty much like working for the SCP Foundation, and they have them watch through these Bobble the Clown episodes, and as soon as they watch through and explain what happens, they get like Men in Black memory wiped so that they don't have any recollection, and their brains, I guess, won't become altered by Bobble the Clown. That is, I don't know. It's kind of messed up that the SCP Foundation is using kids, but at the same time, they need to figure out like what Bobble the Clown is in order to secure, contain, and protect. That's just what they got to do.
Episodes pose to those who view them, since they are able to be reliably blocked from public broadcast. SCP-993 has been classified as safe.
Okay.
And for now,
that's good.
Bobble the Clown appears to be contained as well as it can be.